And Mekanon Hailu will give us their Amharic commentary, and I will be joined by my lead commentator, Bernard Otieno, to take you through this match that we expect is going to be a pulsating match. Oti.
Well, thank you very much, Gilbert. And it happens sometimes when the sun is a little bit too hot, you get new names as well. So thank you for giving me a new name as well. But I tell you, the sweltering heat of the afternoon is the one hot, you get new names as well. So thank you for giving me a new name as well. But I tell you, the sweltering heat of the afternoon is the one in which this game is going to be played. Now, something happens when you have a team that has totally nothing to lose playing a team that has totally everything to lose, and St. George, in my estimation, would be a team that has everything to lose from Confederation Cup's position if they don't take the 3 points out of this one, and that will make it a very explosive match as well this afternoon. Looking at the changes that they've made as well convinces you that they want to play a better game today. And for the St. George side, Will Tarfu would have been a very good inclusion in the defense to give him some playing time as well. He's the man in jersey number 3 for the St. George side, playing alongside some of the seasoned veterans, including Frimpong Mensu. For the Adama side, the fact that they signed a couple of mercenaries on their side, including Sakuba Kamara in goal, and also Eliseo Bisa Jonathan and Mamadou Koulibaly, tells you that they wanted to salvage their season. They can only get to a maximum of 18, and that is a sad story for the Adama side. If they pick up 6 points, only 18, it won't be enough to get them from the relegation zone. They're probably just training for the playoffs if they get there. Here is a chance that comes from the right side and has been put into the net in the very early stages by Salahuddin Said. Big shot from the right if they get there. Here is a chance that comes from the right side and has been put into the net in the very early stages by Salahuddin Said. Big shot from the right side. Saves the Cote de Blanches in the early minutes of the game. And Salahuddin Said scores his second goal. It is 8th match for the St. George side, from just capitalizing on a little lapse in defense. He leaves everybody behind. A cute angle as well, but he slots it into the net.
What a way to finish. That's a good ball right behind the two central defenders, and in one touch, Salahuddin looks up, picks his spot, focuses on the ball, good technical application, good power behind the ball, good precision, and what a way to start for St. George in the early hours of the afternoon.
Well, just as nobody asked me, but I would have told them that the impact player for me would have been on the other side, the goalkeeper as well, Sakuba Kamara, and how he was going to be able to get away from the shots that will be coming on this side. But Adama have taken the lead. St. George have taken the lead. Adama 0, St. George 1. In the very early stages of the match, Adama have succumbed to the pressure and allowed St. George to lead the game. The very third minute of it, that tells you there's going to be a lot more coming in this game. You will notice that it will be littered with confetti that was splashed earlier on in a celebration for the Fossil side when they picked up their trophy for the 2020-2021 season. But that will not stop them from playing a game of football. So a very early goal here, Gilbert. That means that it sets them up for a very big run. They have changed their game into wing play in recent times, the St. George side. But I mean, as long as it works and brings the results, it wouldn't be about change at all, would it?
Absolutely, and they've made some very good statements, big statements today. Frimpong Mensa, Saladin Bergicho, and Amale Terfu. These are central defenders, so they're playing with 3 central defenders. Abdul Karim and Henok have been given the duty to ply the trade on the left and right side of the attack, but again, fall back when they lose possession of the ball.
It's going to be Adama starting it from their side then. Playing it to Lamine Kumare, another of the mercenaries, and this one falls very easily to Abel Yaleo. I think it's just taken by the fact that he gets a very easy chance in front of goal, and he doesn't put it in the net from a defensive error. Adama playing a little bit dangerously, and are looking to try and redeem themselves. Playing it out to the center. Kalugen and then brings it out to the right side. It goes out for a goal kick. 4 minutes, and you've already made 2 mistakes here. It would be a little bit too early to start succumbing to those kinds of mistakes. But then again, they don't pick up the loose ball. It's going to be a goal kick that will be taken by the St. George side. I was talking about the style that has changed on the St. George side, playing the wings and the long balls and trying to capitalize on that in goal. Has already resulted into 1 goal for the side. It's going to go out for a throw-in. It's going to be for St. George with a new coach as well. But this is the Raimulu on the Adama. So the assistant Siraj Nurbajan, who's the first assistant referee. Frimpong pushes it forward. This is going to go out for a goal kick. And it's going to be for the Adama side. You are at the bottom of the log. You have nothing to lose. You can only get to a maximum of 18. You're probably waiting for the playoffs if you get there as well. And you're playing a team that is challenging for the Confederations Cup position, Gilbert. What do you do if you are Adama?
Well, what are you holding on if you're Adama? Because the truth is, there's nothing to lose. Then you have to keep on attacking. Just play football and get a result on this one. So they will not sit back. They will push everyone forward, not even thinking about what is going to happen to them.
Rolled onto the right side. Lucky's pushed it up and got it. Haida Sharefa is a midfielder, so he thought he had a little bit of time to control it. When you're up in front and in the box, if you can control it, be sure you're controlling it in the direction of putting it in the net. This is Pushed back to the center by Abdul Karim Mohammed and ultimately by Haida Sharefa. St. George looking for an option to use. I think they've changed their style of play recently. And now they're even trying to get a better way of going forward by using the midfield and also making sure that they reserve the width of the field in their area they're attacking for speed as well. Haida Sharefa finds himself with a lot of space in the midfield. And plays it to Nathaniel Zaleke. Gets the ball behind the defenders. Again, some tough marking from Yamil Jacob will stop the onslaught for the St. George side. They need to slow down the Adama side and just build nicely up, you know. Otherwise, they're going too fast and it's putting Abdissa Jamal in a very disadvantaged position all the time.
I think there is a similarity in the way both teams are playing. They've decided to play what we call the power play, you know, try to reach their strikers faster.
But look, Abdissa is taking off. That's the second time he's taken off quickly. If they go for those long balls, Gilbert, they're gonna put him in a very disadvantaged position all the time.
They need to play the long passes.
The long passes?
Yes, not
Isn't
long
that
balls.
the long balls?
No, long balls is different because it's a 50-50. Long pass is a direct pass to somebody.
A long ball is a pass that gets there or doesn't get there. So what is the 50? The 50 is in it getting there or not getting there.
Yeah, the long pass,
Okay.
the long ball is a pass that either gets there or not getting there.
Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
If a long ball gets there, is it a long pass?
No.
It's not a long pass if it gets to the intended.
It will not be a long ball. It will be a long pass.
Okay. And
Yeah.
if a long pass doesn't get there, is it still a long ball?
It's a long ball.
I think Gilbert has been enjoying the ceremonies here. And here is a goal coming from the man who's just been given a chance onto the field. And he puts the ball in the net. It's Emmanuel Terfu. He's just playing his fifth game for the St. George side. Emmanuel Terfu has put the ball into the net from a hanging header. No one's marking him there. They're all watching him coming in from that side.
It's a good delivery from Abel Yaleo. He finds his spot. The guy runs into open space where he's unmarked, and the way he executes his header, it's quality. It's quality header from the youngster.
It begs the question, where has he been all this time? Scoreline has changed. Adama nil, St. George 2. And 2 goals in about 10 minutes, the 3rd and the 13th. Oh, well, the Adama side will really have to watch their back. This is what I was talking about earlier. They can't just push everything forward and not care about their back. It's going to be a disaster. But they didn't keep tabs on Emmanuel Terfu there. It's going to be a foul that is going to be taken by the Adama side. Well, if you were Coach Frank Natal by now, you're already getting happy. You would probably be telling yourselves that the gamble is bearing fruits now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He took a big gamble playing with 3 central defenders.
Three years now, so they're not very happy with themselves. They need to be rebuilding towards next year's season, because this one's already been taken by the Fasil side. But an easy pick by Salahdin Said to Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael. Not Niall Zaleke. But trying to get it behind the defender Lamin Kumari again. But Gabriel Mikael wasn't intent on getting there. I don't know why Sakuba Kamara decides to get them into a very difficult situation like this. That's the other man who should be chasing up at the front, Belaya Baine. out-muscled, outwitted by Haida Sharifa. Long ball down on the right side for Abel Yaleo. He's got the speed, but he can't get to it. Million will take it for a throw-in. I don't know what Million does to Abel Yaleo, even at a time when the ball had already gone off the field of play. So the center referee will take a look at it. Tekalin Lema is the referee. You and I will always get a chance to see it again. Yeah, just a little push there, but then Abel Yaleo overplays it down. He remembers slightly later that he has been touched on the face. The ref is not going to give anything out of it. He'll just allow him to go off the field of play. He pushed it there, and then when the ball was being picked here, just that push on the head. Even though Million should not have been doing it anyway, but it's off the field of play. It could be punished still off the field of play, but they're both are overacting.
Yeah, it's overacting. It's overacting.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Million is overacting.
Yeah.
Abel Yaleo is overacting. I guess just to try and get a little something out of the referee. Abdissa Jamal has rolled onto the right side. He gets a return ball. He needs support. He decides to go on his own. There's 3 pairs of yellow stockings waiting for him on that side. Oh, that's a better pick now from Bekalu Genene. He's lumped it onto the left side. Oh, this is going to go out for a goal kick. Tarfoud looked like he had lost.
If they are long passes, they would be accurate.
That's a long. You be the judge then. A long ball that doesn't get there is not a long pass. A pass that, well, okay, we'll leave it at that. Pass and long ball are the two things that you have to think about. If it doesn't get there, Gilbert insists it's a long ball.
Yeah.
If it gets there, then it's a long pass. It's going to be a throw in here for Adama. Well, if you weren't watching the matches in the morning, I'll have to remind you there were 2,300 fans at the stadium. 2,000 from the side that was getting the trophy, that's the Fasil side, and 300 from the home side that was playing today, that's the Awassa side. The game ended in a 1-1 draw. There was as much celebration from the Awassa side as there was from the Fasil side, but the beauty of it all is that the Awassa side... Oh, this has dropped onto the ground from the goalkeeper, Baru Negash. The beauty about it is the Awassa side was celebrating just as much as the Fasil side. And that the Fasil side actually had the whole team going to the Awassa side to celebrate with Awassa. Now, that was quite sportsmanship. It's going to come to Eno Kadunya for the St. George side. And then the return ball that was intended for St. George, I think, was cut off for a throw-in. It's going to be given to the St. George side. Quick one to Haida Sharifa. Brings it across, and Bulaya Baine, I think he's not very sure about himself on where he wants to clear that ball to. Ultimately, the foul helps them to be able to move a couple of inches forward. 4-3-3. We'll take this one just cleared off by Night Nile Zeleke in a split of a second there, but Baru Negash wasn't confident about this one. He brings it to his hands, it touches on his chest as well, but he doesn't clasp on it.
That's poor goalkeeping. I think if he wasn't sure, he should have punched the ball into play.
Yeah, that would be the best option in that situation. Nevertheless, the defenders did clear it. An attempt to clear the ball from the Adama side. And now it comes to Elise, who spreads it onto the left side. Saves the cure, doesn't get to this one. Sent out for a throw-in that has been quickly taken by Adama. Yaleo was trying to get Salahuddin Said to go on his trademark runs up at the front. trying to catch the defense napping. Loss of concentration then by Baruch Mengesha. Leads to loss of possession as well. Lucky to still pick it up, the Adama side. There's a long one down on the right side. It gets to Jamil Yacob, brings it back to the center, but he handles the ball in the process. Abdisu Jamal, I think it's a forced one because he was trying to stop play after a foul. Should always wait for the whistle, though it gets to them. But Abdisa is already in the mode of getting that one. And it's lucky, it's just because of a foul by Frimpong. Doesn't get to be penalized for it. It's going to be a free kick for the Adama side. Belaya Baine is preparing to take it. He's got only one goal so far for the Adama Kenema side. He's one of the biggest strikers, I mean, in terms of body size on the field. Usually has some very good runs as well. Seems to have made his preparation well for the shot. That seems to trouble Baru Negash a bit as well. I'm curious to see what Belaya Bayan is going to do here, because there's been a change of position twice by his teammate closest to him, Bekalu Genene. Seems to be telling him how they should play it. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get it to Bekalu Genene going for it, and that's why Manuel Gabriel Mikael has quickly gone to clamp him down. The direct shot hits onto the wall. I need to mention that the wall comes crumbling a bit there. It's taken a very hard shot, Gilbert. And with the heat that we got as well, it's bound to have an impact on the head.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a hot punch right there.
Yeah, it knocks him off balance.
Yeah.
It knocks him off balance a bit. I don't know why he wasn't. It's Aladdin Bergicho, but he just chewed there and wasn't preparing for anything. So he takes the impact. It's not that he heads the ball out. He takes the impact of the ball on the head.
Well, I think Belaya Bena just introducing Saladin Bergicho in his first game of the league. so he's telling him this is how we do it.
I think he was wondering what's coming out of his head. He didn't realize they have used some water on him as well. Now he can splash it on himself and get back to his feet. It just surprised him. And we all love surprises, but when the surprise knocks you off like that, you got to wonder again why you should be surprised in that manner. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to be a ball that has already been taken by the Adama side. The goalkeeper is off his line. Baru Negash has to turn to face the ball as he's running back. Now they're trying to compound the problems of the defense on the St. George side that is looking a little bit shifty at the moment.
Yeah, there's poor communication, because at this point when the defender is running with an opponent, the goalkeeper does not need to move out of his area. And once the opponent goes up, he beats two players with one ball. So poor goalkeeping, poor communication.
They should do better, Frimpong and Baru Negash. Certainly not communicating there. It was pretty obvious they were chasing the same ball, and one of them was going to be in a disadvantage. This is pulled back into the center. Abdul Karim Mohamed. Nazaleke places to Haida Shirefa. Then to Emmanuel Terfu, out on the right side. Not a very bad way to introduce oneself by Emmanuel Terfu, scoring a goal in the 13th minute from a hanging header. Gabriel Mikael trying to get himself into the box, manages, but then the shot is not on target. Well, a foul will be given here. Should have been Gabriel Mikael just trying to get past Lamin Kumare, but he seems to have taken a knock. Probably aggravating something that he had before, because there doesn't look to be much to get injured so much about. Stretches his foot, and that is all that we see from that picture, Gilbert.
Well, I think it was just little contact on the knee. Very little contact.
On the left boot of Emmanuel.
Yeah, and he's up.
Yeah, he's already well. It's already well and has to go on with the game. But just before the free kick is taken, I think we're going to go into the water break. 25 minutes of play. The heat, of course, intensifying as we continue with this game. Sakuba Kamara wants to give other instructions. Him and Lamin Kumare can speak in fluent French at the back there and give instructions to themselves in French. The two foreigners from West Africa. Sakuba from Guinea-Conakry was giving instructions to his teammate. For the St. George side, they also need to have some good communication between the goalkeeper and the defenders, because that is where it is all lacking. The coach is happy at the moment, isn't he, Gilbert?
Well, he's not donning the little cup that we saw him don when they lost 1 goal against Hadia.
What's the cup got to do with it?
He had something on his head. It was very, very hot by then, but now the team is leading.
He doesn't feel the heat.
Yeah, he doesn't feel the heat.
It's just that the bibs are not there anymore. So at that time he had to wear that as well because he was confusing the referee. His shirt was almost of the same color of the other team. But Adama have gone 67% in the middle. They're not going to the right at all, and only 33% on the left side means that they want to permeate through the center.
Absolutely, and that's where the long balls are coming in, trying to get through Adisa Jamal, but the passes are not going through. 0% on the right-hand side. Save Zakir has not been hard, but Belaina
St. George the same way. They're not using the left side. They're using only the right side and the center. That's what it says on the log there. 50% in the center for St. George, 50% on the right side.
Yeah, they're not using the left-hand side where Manuel Gabriel-Michael is playing straight.
So they're overloading one side, and probably it's more effective from that side. Never mind the fact that Terfu has scored from that left side from a header, but that was from a cross that came from the right side. And going back after the break means that we've got another half before we get to the halftime break. Scoreline is in favor of St. George for 2-0. Saladin Said in the 3rd minute, Emmanuel Terfu in the 13th minute. And it's going to be a free kick, a goal kick rather, by the defense of the Adama side. There was a little movement of coaches in the mid-season. And Zerai Mulu then took over the Adama side. Sidama also changed their coach. Jima got a new coach as well. And things changed a little bit. And even in the consequent marches towards the end of the season, we've seen 2 coaches suddenly disappear from the benches of the Premier League clubs. One of them, Ashinafi Bekele, has not been sitting on the bench for the Hadi Hossaina side for the last 2 or 3 marches. Well, Haida Shrefa thought he would have been getting a foul for a high boot. Abdul Karim does a better job of just intercepting the ball with the intention of taking it for possession. Quick throw in for Adama. Belaya Baje should know there's always a man on you when the ball comes to you. I mean, he's just standing there and the ball was removed so easily from his possession, just standing there. He didn't move an inch. He didn't move, Gilbert. The ball was just removed from his side as he's standing there.
Tactical awareness. Yeah, lacking in there.
That's just the lack of attention at all. Anyway, we'll be nice to him in this game. This is taken in the midfield by Bekalu Genene. They're trying to get Saif Zakir on the left side. Can he bring it across? Does he need to? Yes, he does. But he takes it directly to Frimpong. And then pushing it further up at the front. Desta Gishamo doesn't head it out. He just heads it high up. He was lucky he gets a foul in this one. But otherwise, Desta Gishamo was going to be gotten the better of because they intended to quickly move away. The Taida Sharifa should not get himself into a discussion with the ref. That push is the one that gives the ball to Desta Gishamo from Abo Yaleo. They were protesting it, everybody there. It's going to be a free kick for Adama. Abaine. Again, a long ball towards the goalkeeper. It's dipping on time. It's punched out by Baru Negash. That's the best he can do under the circumstances. With Abdissa Jamal lurking close by there, you never know what might happen. A slight mistake if you try to push the ball back will end up hurting you more than the other side. But for the first time, Belaya Baine looks very technical in that delivery.
It's intelligent play.
It is the corner. Again, too many red shirts going for it. Oh, they're only being told to come out. Saladin being referred to very nicely and affectionately as Salah by his teammates, asking him to start a run up at the front. Gabriel Mikhail. Oh, there's a very big battle for possession in that midfield. Haida Sharefa was really trying to get it away. Abali Alo was there as well. This will come onto the right side. Jamal, a last minute decision to turn around and start a run. Gets to save Zekir. And Yamil Jacob suddenly jumping his way in to vantage position for the Adama side, looking for a chance for a shot here. It's going to be watched going off the field of play. On out for a goal kick for St. George. Gilbert, what do you make of the game now? I mean, well, two goals, yes, scored by St. George in 10 minutes, but something's just gone down, dipped down in this game.
Well, I think Adama is trying to trot back, and they are pushing numbers forward and creating some, goal-scoring opportunities. They've not just been clinical in front of goal.
Well, they are winning the possession in the midfield as well as St. George falls back into the defense mode. This one being bounced forward for Belaya Baine. It's well laid by Frimpong Mensah, the Ghanaian. That's him on the ball for the St. George side. Mensah sends it forward. Elise will try to control it, but doesn't succeed. Saif Zekir as well injures himself in the process of trying to get the ball out here. Well, he made it look like he was losing everything in there, but he banged onto Eno Kadunya himself. Then he went down, and in an effort to try and self-medicate, he tries to find out what's wrong with himself and found out there was nothing. Even the coach is wondering what happened there. I mean, yeah, you try to find out if you are hurt, then you find out there's nothing, and you are intimating that things have gone totally wrong. Oh, they have to give the ball back to the St. George side. Gilbert, why are you shaking your head? That's what exactly happened there with Saif Zakir.
He's asking himself, am I hurt?
And then he found out that there's nothing.
There's nothing,
yeah.
okay.
He actually, produced what the doctors usually ask you to produce, maybe some sputum, to find out if there's any infection on it. It was the same color. He has to continue with the game. It's part of some of the comedy that happens on the field of play as well. Desperate measures. Good ball for Gabriel Mikhail. He's being held back. He's going to be penalized for a foul here, for a free kick for Adama.
Well, it's interesting that Coach Nuttall has realized that he has some very fast runners, and therefore he's decided that anytime they get the ball in the midfield, they have to look for those runners. But then he has succeeded.
He has. Initially, he was just sending it to the flanks, but now he's also thinking if you can put it through for speed, let's use it. But that's also a good thing then, when you've got a coach who can see what is lacking in the team and can change it in the consequent game, then that is success. You adapt to what you're going to play next. Belaya Baine try to send it forward with the top of his boot. That's his push back to the goalkeeper by Lamin Kumari. Sakuba Kamara. A little touch from Elise. Good touch by Niles Zaleke. Just doesn't pass it through Melion Salemon, who stops it. Destegishamo actually, who stops it from going on to the other side. 35 minutes played, Gilbert. 4-3-3 is the formation. They all gave 3-4-3. Just means there would be at least 7 or so, or even 9 people in that midfield, but they're all avoiding that midfield at the moment.
They are. You realize that St. George have only 2 midfielders, Natnail and Haida Sharefa, as compared to Bekalo, Biruk and Lissier in the midfield for Adama. So that's why they're not having a long hours in the midfield. They want to play long passes to their forward.
If it works well, then it works well for them. But if it doesn't, then it still means they'll have to build it from their side. Haida Sharefa. Little ball to Gabriel Mikhail. Well, the captain certainly doesn't want anything going towards his team side. And Deseki Shamu just easily pushes that one out. It's going to be played back to the goalkeeper, Baru Negash, who in a little bit of desperation sends it up the field of play. And that's going to be a throw-in. That has been quickly taken. Saif Zakir, too casual in that delivery. And this is a little bit too hard on that delivery. And Baru Negash too extravagant in that little peak of the ball there. I don't know if it's the moment for that as well, because Baru Negash could have just easily picked that up. He didn't need to make an acrobatic jump on that one, did he?
Jamal is lacking in his just around those areas, so he wants to make sure that all the ball is covered.
Yeah. I think he's just showing off. Yeah, I mean, he already had the ball with him. Could have done it in an easier way, but he's a goalkeeper anyway. It's part of the springing up. Is what goalkeepers are trained on whenever they're getting into possession. Terfu. Well, one thing that he will need to do is abandon the casual nature of delivery and be a little bit more serious in his deliveries up at the front. Adunya does a better job of switching the wing. Sharefa and Gabriel Mikael cutting down Belaya Baine. Abdul Karim, I beg your pardon, cutting down Belaya Baine. This is Sharefa now in the midfield. Tries to get Adunya on the flanks, and successfully so. Adunya tries to bring in the cross. It's picked up by Milion Selemo. Sends it into the midfield. And Adama have a chance to start the break with Saif Zakir on the left side. Adunya's penalised for a foul here on Bekalu Genene. Headed back by Frimpong Mensu, goes off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Adama. Moves slightly back, says the referee, to Jamil Yacob, who's going to start it. Belaya Baine. Well, today attempting to show off some dribbling skills, but not getting exactly what he wanted. Goalkeeper is off his line again. Sakuba Kamara realizing that Deseki Shamu was not going to get there on time. Knowing that he's got to contend with the strikers up at the front, he's worried about what would have happened there. That's why he came off his line. Lise is one of the men who's supposed to be taking care of the goalkeeper when the ball comes to the side. Although he's tucked into the midfield, they should be falling back into defense, because those through balls are going to be devastating if they don't get cut out on time. Saladin manages to get it to Gabriel Mikael. And Emmanuel carves it in front of the goalkeeper. Abu Yaleo is going for it. Adunya doesn't get an accurate shot towards goal. And Adunya's goal tally still remains only one, Gilbert.
He was in a hurry.
He's been part of Frank Natal's plan ever since Natal took over the team.
He was in a hurry, and I think they were about 3 against 1 in that scenario. He should have taken at least one more step before he could take a shot.
He was going to take it on his weaker foot. So in all probability, it was not going to be accurate. 4 shots on target in this one. Still very minimal. Sits back into the midfield for the Adama side. And Bekalu Genene looking to pump it forward for Abdissa Jamal. If there's no one behind the defenders, even if Abdissa goes out of the front, he's not going to do anything with that ball. Dunya's got the company of 2 players, including Saif Zakir, who are cutting him down. He's going to get a foul here, in an apology from Saif Zakir in a sportsmanship way. The other close man there was Biruk Mengesha, but Biruk was not challenging so much for that ball. It's a big one. All the way out. Gilbert, you're shaking your head. What does that mean?
Well, I'm not sure why Adama is playing the balls just lumping the balls forward.
For Abdissa Jamal, that's what they're doing it. They're trying to get him to run on either side.
It's not possible. If you look at the organization of St. George, they are playing with 5 men whenever they lose possession of the ball, plus the 2 holding midfielders, Nathaniel and Hyde, which means there are 6 players behind the defense. How do you play a long ball to only one person at the top?
That's a good question. Probably we'll get to answer it during the break after Adama has played their last match as well. They have one more match coming. This is their 23rd match, same as for the St. George side. It's the 23rd match. Oh, this is pushed onto the left side for Adama. St. George would remain firmly in the 3rd position. If this ended like this, they would move up to the 3rd position with 2 goals and 3 points. Move them from the 5th position because they would get to 37. But the Adama side will still be rooted down there in a minus 24 goal difference. Would be what they would register on the log now. Barunegash will take the free kick. The goal kick from his side. He's telling everybody to move up to the front and to wait for the delivery there. This is Elise in the midfield for Adama. And then Haida Shuarefa challenging for it. It's difficult to believe that Elise has been sent onto the ground from that little push there. But in a challenge for possession, a lot of things do happen, and it makes the referee believe that he was unfairly treated there and pushed onto the ground. So he gets the free kick in the process for Adama, who tried to make inroads towards the goal area. That's Elise again, intimating that he has lost his footing. Getting a free kick from the centre referee, Tekelin Lema. This is out on the left side. Apart from just trying to land the balls forward, Gilbert, it looks like the Adama side having had another strategy of trying to get the ball to Abdissa Jamal at the front.
They don't, and once they realize that they can move in small triangles and try to beat that tightly knit St. George defense line, they might not be able to have any meaningful shot.
Would be a little bit of a disaster then if they can't have any meaningful shot there, because the only way to get to goals is to shoot. Belaya Baine tries it as well. He gets the ball from behind, but even as he's setting himself up, you can know that it's not going to be a good shot. It's not going to have the power. Most likely, it's not going to get the accuracy as well.
It's from a distance, and Barunegash is not just any other goalkeeper that you can score from.
But also on Baibelaine's weaker foot, and the Baibelaine is a natural right footer. Very difficult to play with the left side. This is going to be another foul. Well, Gilbert, then let me let you continue with this and roll down to the touchline to see what's happening at the halftime break.
It's okay, Bernard. Thank you for the 44 minutes that you kept me company. Well, it's a foul for Adama, and Bekele Genene trying to find his markers in the defense line, but again, the St. George defense line sticking close to each other, playing very compact today, and have really not given Adama Kenema any chance or opportunity to be able to take a shot. Well, we are playing the last 1 or so minutes of the first half, and Barunegash preparing to play a long ball, trying to find Saladin Said at the top. Again, poor control from Abe Yaleo. Goalkeeper Sakuba Kamara playing it wide to Jakob Ginene. Well, trying to play back to Jakob, but again, Gabriel Mikhail just stands in his way. It's a throw ball. Jakob with a throw ball to Belai, but he's prompted to have... it's a repeat ball by Jakob on the Adama Kenema right back position. Referee intimating that there are 2 balls in the field. Elisa Obisa with a long pass trying to find Saif in the box, but a weak shot from Saif makes Bahdar Neges celebrate for that little touch from Saif. Zeleke, Jaleo. Well, Aduma trying to make an overlap plan, but they decide to bring the ball back to Terfo. Terfo playing his this 5th game of the league, are not giving a good pass, but Elise is fouled in the midfield. Well, a foul for Adama, who have literally not been able to get any route to be able to permeate through the tightly knit St. George defense line. They try long ball again, intercepted by Zaleka in the midfield. Back to Elissier. Elissier with the long pass to Jamal. It lands in the feet of Saif. He brings back a cutback, but again, St. George looking very, very tight at the back with Saladin Bergicho standing in the way. Haida Serefa. Long pass to Saladin Said. Said trying to find Yale on the right, but good interception there by Lamin Kumare. And the referee of the day, tackling Lema, brings the first half to an end in a game that St. George had literally enjoyed the 2-goal advantage that had been slotted in by Saladin Said. A good through ball from Saladin Bergicho with 1 touch, and Saladin Said finds his mark to score his 2nd goal of the league. And it was not done. A good cross from the right-hand side with a free header from none other than Emmanuel Terfu, who is playing in his 5th game with the 1st goal of the league. And as it stands, St. George lead by 2-0 in the first half.
ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ 2-0 በሆነ ውጤት አዳማ ከተማን እየመራ የመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ የተጠናቀቀበት የ25ኛው ሳምንት የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ የከሰዓት የመጀመሪያ ጨዋታ በሐዋሳ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ስቴዲየም እየተካሄደ ይገኛል። ክቡራን ተመልካቾቻችን በሱፐር ስፖርት ጨዋታዎቹን እየተከታተላችሁ የምትገኙ ተመልካቾች 25ኛው ሳምንት ላይ ደርሰናል። ፋሲል ከነማ ረፋድ ላይ ደግሞ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ዋንጫን ተረክቧል። የመጀመሪያዎቹ 45 ደቂቃዎች ምን ይመስሉ ነበር የሚለውን ከባልደረቦቻችን መኮንን ኃይሉና በርናንድ ኦቴኖ ጋር ቆይታ የምናደርግ ይሆናል። How were the 45 minutes, Bernan?
Oh, well, when you have a team that is at the bottom of the log playing a team that is trying to get into the second position, you expect a little bit of intensity in the game. But for Adama to try and lump the balls forward all the time, you can't get a new result doing the same thing all over again. And so they're really just trying to send the ball up at the front to Abdisa, trying to send it up at the front. So they're not getting any good effort. Saif Zakir on the left side, too late with the crosses. He doesn't know whether to come in and try for a shot. Belaya Baine, can only shoot on one foot. Now, all these things are not adding up for Adama at the moment up at the front. They're not.
Saladin ወደ ጎል አስቆጣሪነት ተመልሷል። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ 2 ጎሎችን አግብቷል። ባለፉት 180 ደቂቃዎች ጎል ማስቆጠር አልቻሉም ነበር። መልካም ነገር ነው ይሄ።
በሲዳማ ቡናና በሀዲያ ሆሳዕና በተሸነፉበት ጨዋታ ላይ ቡድኑ ጎል አለማስቆጠር ብቻ ሳይሆን ቅርጽ አልባ ነበረ። ምን ማድረግ እንደሚፈልግ አያውቅም ነበር። የግብ ዕድሎቹ ጥራት ይጎርላቸው ነበር። በዚህኛው 45 ደቂቃ በተለይም ደግሞ ከውሃ ረፍት በፊት በነበሩት 25 ደቂቃዎች የአሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ናታል የዛሬው ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የተሻለ ነበር ብዬ አስባለሁ። 2 ጎሎችን ያስቆጠረበት መንገድም የአዳማ ከተማ ተከላካዮችን ክፍተት በደንብ ኤክስፕሎይት ማድረግ ችሏል ብዬ አስባለሁ። ሰላዲን ሰይድ ገና በሁለተኛው ደቂቃ ነው በመሀል ተከላካዮች አምልጦ ያስቆጠረው። ሁለተኛው ጎልም የአማኑኤል ተርፍ ጎል ሲቆጠር ተከላካይ መስመር ተጫዋቾች ላይ የማዕዘን ምቱን የተቆጣጠሩበት መንገድ ደካማ ነበርና የመጀመሪያዎቹ 25 ደቂቃዎች ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጥሩ ነበሩ። ከጎሎች መቆጠር በኋላ ባሉትና ከውሃ ረፍት በኋላ ግን አዳማ ከተማ የተሻለ ተጽዕኖ የፈጠረበት የጨዋታ ጊዜ ነበር።
ሳላዲን ሰይድ በጨዋታው ያስቆጠረው ጎል በውድድር ዘመኑ ሁለተኛው ጎል ነው። የጎሉ እንቅስቃሴ እንመልከት። በሁለተኛው ደቂቃ ላይ የተቆጠረ ጎል ነው። How do you see the goal, Bernard?
I think there's something that happens when you're given the captain's armband, and Saladin Said today has been given that extra responsibility. So he's leading from the front, unlike the last time when he played. But today he's found the mark, very early in the game, and that has helped the St. George side to try and settle into the game. But I think it was a very well, taken shot from the right side.
Yeah.
He goes past all the defenders with good speed and a power shot from the right side. That one, the goalkeeper could not have stopped even if he wanted to. It's a good angle. It's on his favoured foot. He's got all the power behind the boot. And, he's angled properly for the shot. It's in the net.
Yeah, Bernard, he used to be Abubakar of Ethiopian Premier League for the last 10 years. Yeah.
So something has just happened to him now and he's trying to remember those days.
Yeah. መኮንን ሳላዲን ጎል አስቆጥሯል። ወላይታ ድቻ ላይ ጅማ ላይ ነበር የአሸናፊነት ጎል በግንባር ማስቆጠር የቻለው። በአምበልነትም ቡድኑን እየመራ ነው።
ለሳላዲን ሰይድ በጣም ጥሩ አጋጣሚ ነው የሚሆነው ጎልን ያስቆጠረበት መንገድና ከሳላዲን በርጌቾ ነው በነገራችን ላይ ኳሱ የደረሰው በቀጥታ ሳላዲን በርጌቾ ነው ያቀበለው። ሳላዲን ዛሬ ነው ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የተሰለፈው በርጌቾ ሳላዲን በርጌቾ። ስለዚህ ለሁለቱም ተጫዋቾች በጣም አሪፍ አጋጣሚ ነው ብዬ አስባለሁ። ከዛ ባሻገር ግን ቡድኑ ገና በሁለተኛው ደቂቃ ነው መምራት የቻለውና ለስነልቦና የበላይነት እንዲወስዱም አግዟቸዋል ብዬ አስባለሁ።
በዛሬው የፍራንክ ኑተል የመጀመሪያ ምርጥ 11 አዲስ ተጫዋቾች መካከል አማኑኤል ተርፎ አንዱ ነው። በግንባር ጎል በማስቆጠርም ሁለተኛውን የመሪነት ጎል ለማስመዝገብ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን አስችሏል። 2-0 እንዲመሩ አድርጓል። Emmanuel came from the under-20 of St. George and he scored a goal.
Yep. He's one of the players we've been wondering where he is. When we heard that there are a couple of players who had been sent home from the team, it was automatic that the youngsters will get some chance up on the main team. And Emmanuel Tarfu is one of the ones that we touted very heavily as a defender who's going to get more time. For him to be in there in this game, I think it's his 5th game, and to be totally unmarked or to free himself of all the markers, rise up and put this ball in the net is a very, very good tact for a youngster like that one. That's a very good goal coming from Emmanuel Tarfu.
መኮንን በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል ቀደም ሲል ስታነሳ ከሁለተኛው ጎል በኋላ የመቀዛቀዝ ነገር አለ ብለህ ነበር። አዳማዎችም ወደ ማጥቃት እየመጡ ነበር። በላይ አባይነህ 2-3 ጊዜ ደግሞ ሰይፈ ዛኪር ሙከራዎችን አግኝተው ነበር። መምራታቸው ነው ወይስ የአዳማ ከነማ መጠናከር ነው?
አዳማ ከተማዎች ይበልጥ ከመጀመሪያዎቹ 25 ደቂቃዎች በተሻለ ወደ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የሜዳ አጋማሽ መግባት ችለዋል። ከዚያ ባሻገር የግብ ዕድሎችን መፍጠር የሚችሉ እንቅስቃሴዎችንም ማድረግ ጀምረዋል። መሀል ለመሀል በግራ መስመር ሰይፈ ዛኪር በነበረበት አቅጣጫ ብዙ ሙከራዎችን አድርጓል። በላይ አባይነህ እንደዚሁ ከሳጥን ውጭ የሚሞክራቸው ኳሶች አሉና
እስኪ ከበላይ አባይነህ ሙከራዎች መካከል አንዷን እየተመለከትን ይህንን ሀሳብ እንቀጥለው። በላይ አንድ ሙከራ አድርጎ ነበር በመጀመሪያው
45 ደቂቃ የጨዋታ ሂደት ላይ ይሄ ሙከራው ነው አሁን ቀጥለን የምንመለከተው። አዳማ ከተማዎች ወደ ጨዋታው የመጡበት ሂደትም አንዱ ማሳያ ነበር።
አዎ በተለይ በረጃጅም ኳሶች ነው በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሳጥን ውስጥ አካባቢ ለሚገኙ ተጫዋቾቻቸው ኳሱን ለማቀበል እየሞከሩ የሚገኙት። ይሄኛው የበላይ አባይነህ ኳስም በጣም ከባድ ኳስ ነበር ለግብ ጠባቂው፣ ምክንያቱም ኳሱ ባልታሰበ ሁኔታ ነው የተሞከረው። ከዚያ ባሻገር የግብ ጠባቂውን እይታ ሊጋርድ የሚችል ፀሐይም አለና ከዛ አንጻር ኳሱን ማዳኑ ጥሩ ሂደት ነበረ።
ባህሩ ነጋሽ is performing very well for St. George for the last couple of games. What's your opinion about
You're talking about the goalkeeper?
Yeah,
he's very solid in there. It's just one mistake I think he almost made there when he went for a ball and he didn't get it into his own grasp. You know, when there's a rule is simple. If you go for the ball as a goalkeeper, you must touch the ball. And you have to decide whether you're pushing it out if there are very many people. But yes, he's performing very well in that defense. Plus the fact that they have not tested him at all. I mean, Belaya Bain has not tested him, Jamal has not tested him, Saif Zakir has not tested him. So he's having a good time in there. But he's a good goalkeeper even when he's well tested by the strikers.
መኮንን እንግዲህ በመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ የነበረው እንቅስቃሴና ሙከራዎችን ተመልክተናል። በቁጥር ደረጃ ያሉትን ነጥቦች እየተመለከትን ማን የተሻለ ነበር የሚለው ቁጥሮች ምን ይናገራሉ የሚለው እኔ 6 ሙከራዎችን አዳማዎች አድርገው 1 ኢላማውን ጠብቋል። 5 አድርገው 3 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ ናቸው በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል። ይሄ ጨዋታው የሚገልጸው ነው።
አዎ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ይበልጥ ጥራት ያላቸው የግብ ሙከራዎችን አድርጓል። ሁለቱን ደግሞ አስቆጥሯቸዋል። በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል ብዙ የግብ ማግባት ሙከራዎች ተደርጓል ከቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የተሻለ 6። ነገር ግን አንዳቸውም ጥራት ያላቸውና የግብ ጠባቂውን ባህሩ ነጋሽን የሚፈትኑ አጋጣሚዎች አልነበሩም። ከዛ ውጭ ግን የኳስ ቁጥጥር ብልጫው ላይ በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል ተመልክተናል። በተለይ ከ25ኛው ደቂቃ በኋላ አዳማ ከተማ የተሻለ ነበረ። አብዛኛው የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ግን መሀል ሜዳ ላይ ያተኮረ ፍልሚያ ነው የሚደረገው። 59% በጣም ብዙ ነው። መሀል ሜዳ ላይ ያለውን የቡድኖችን ፍልሚያ የሚነግረን ነው።
We are watching the attack analysis, Bernard. What do you suggest on the second half? Where shall Adama change things?
First of all, Adama is totally lacking in the midfield. Like I told you, they're lumping the balls from the defense, trying to get it to Abdissa Jamal. It's not going to get there. Haida Sharefa and are cutting it out in the midfield. So they have to build it. They have to find somebody else to be able to get those balls to. Elise is supposed to be playing right in front of the defenders. I think he's supposed to be the link from the defense into the midfield, but he's not on the ball most of the time. There's no way it's going to get to Abdissa Jamal and Saif Zakir if they don't build it from the center. They probably will have to add another midfielder.
I think that's why Elias Mamo is preparing behind us.
Have you seen him behind there?
Yeah,
because they need that transition. You can't do the same thing, you know, lumping it forward. It's not going to work. They need to build it and probably also use the wider side because the midfield, they're not getting any luck in the midfield at all.
መኮንን ጎሎች ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ያስፈልጉታል። ሁለተኛው ነው ለመጨረስ በርካታ ጎሎች ማስቆጠር አለበት። እነማንን ቢያስገባ ተጨማሪ ጎል ማስቆጠር ይችላል? በአሸናፊነት ጨዋታው መጨረስ ይችላል?
የመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ ቡድኑ በመከላከልም በማጥቃትም ነገር ጥሩ ነው ብዬ አስባለሁ። ነገር ግን መሀል ለመሀል እንደ አማራጭ የከናን ማርከነ መግባት ለቡድኑ አስፈላጊ ሊሆን ይችላል። አብዛኛው የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የማጥቃት ሂደቶች በመስመሮች በኩል የሚነሱ ናቸው። አቤል ያለው አሊያም ደግሞ አማኑኤል ገብረ ሚካኤል በግራና በቀኝ የሚያደርጓቸው የማጥቃት ሂደቶች ናቸው ያሉትና ምናልባት ከናን ማርከነ ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ የሚገባ ከሆነ መሀል ለመሀል የግብ አጋጣሚዎችን ለመፍጠር ሊያግዛቸው ይችላል ብዬ አስባለሁ። በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል የኤልያስ ማሞ መግባት የሚጠበቅ ይመስለኛል። ቅድም በርናርድ እንዳነሳው በቡድኖቹ በተጫዋቾች መካከል ጋፕ አለ፣ ሰፊ ልዩነት አለ። ያ ደግሞ ቡድኑን የሚጠቅም አይደለም። ከዛ አንጻር ተከላካዮቹ ወደ መሀል መጠጋት፣ አማካዮቹ ደግሞ ይበልጥ ለፊት መስመር ተጫዋቾቹ ቅርብ መሆን ያለባቸው ይመስለኛል።
ታንክስ መኮንን ኤንድ በርናንድ። ክቡራን ተመልካቾቻችን እንግዲህ ሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃ ምን ያሳየናል? ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ተጨማሪ ጎሎችን ያስቆጥራል ወይስ አዳማ ከነማ ወደ ጨዋታው ይመለሳል? አብረን እንከታተሉ።
Saladin Said and Emmanuel Terfu have been the toast of the day for St. George in the first half in a game that St. George have completely neutralized the Adama long balls and substituting them by the long passes. While in the second half, Adama have realized that it is very, very important for them to be able at least to neutralize St. George in the midfield, and have made a very, very important substitution by bringing in their captain, Elias Mamo, for Saif Zakir, who looked lost in the first half, to try and see whether they can be able to solidify the midfield. Whether Adama are going to complement what St. George has done in the first half is a question that will have to be answered by either the Amari commentators or by myself and my lead commentator Bernard Otieno in the second half. That proves to be a very, very, very pulsating match from the onset. Well, it's a foul, an early foul on Abel Yaleu by the Adama defenders, and of course the referee tackling Lema, not taking anything for granted at this point in time, and he's actually holding a yellow card in his hands, implying that there is an infringement on Abel Yaleu in the first few minutes of the first half. And none other than Lamin Kumare, the central defender, has had a very, very torrid time, especially in the first half, coming up against a very, very tireless and quick-running Abel Yaleu, and he intends to deal with him in the second half, but in an awkward manner, and the referee not taking anything for granted. Well, to take you through the second half is Bernard Otieno as my lead commentator.
Thank you very much, Gilbert. The change having been made in that midfield is deliberate to try and get that transition working for the Adama side. And Lamin Kumare's foul is a testimony to the fact that they're getting desperate to just be able to win the possession in that midfield. Otherwise, they're going to force Abdissa Jamal to continue running left and right to try and get possession. The result of that could be that he gets tired too early and might not give his 100% in the game like this one. Adunya, this is going to be picked into possession by the Adama side. And this is going to be a foul. Well, you hear the loud, shrill cry on that foul. And I think Abel Yaleu today as well, playing a very, very hard game here. Gets a yellow card here. I think he should have already served a suspension for the accumulation of yellow cards. But he goes very hard on Lamin Kumare, forcing him into a loud cry of pain and knocking him off his rails completely. It's going to be a foul that will be given to Adama. But they're getting into the midfield play, and that must have been a discussion they had at halftime, that they've got to find a way of owning part of that midfield. Pushed forward. It's Bekalu Genene was bringing it. A quick run now by Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail. He's got Abdul Karim as well out at the front. Too long for Abdul Karim. After Abdul had done a run with him as a pair of runners up at the front. He pushes one that is too long. That couldn't have gotten to Abdul Karim. He was just close by there. He wasn't, 5 steps ahead of him, so it's forced him back into his defensive role. This is pushed back to Frimpong Mensu, the Ghanaian, pushing it into the midfield. Now the same mistake might befall the St. George side, Gilbert, if they don't use the midfield. They may be caught into the same web of trying to lump the balls up at the front.
Absolutely. I think in the changing room, Zirai Molu must have realized that St. George are planning to play the long passes, and therefore they have put an alert on the front runners by making sure that Lamin Kumare and Desta Gichamo are at par anytime the balls are being sent to him.
We'll see how that works for them. This is Elise, who pushes it out to the right side. Adama deciding to also roll the ball a bit, try to find the position in the midfield, try to get a way of going on with it. Otherwise, all the lumping up at the front is ending up being picked up easily by St. George in the midfield. Gabriel Mikhail. Well, he's pushed it back to his own defenders, who tries to bring it to Abel Yaleu. But Biruk Mengesha has a better possession of it. Belaya Baine Gets a return ball, but he was a little bit late. He reciprocates as well by bringing in a similar kind of return ball. Well, they're just proving that they can own the midfield if they want to, Gilbert, and that they've got the capacity to play in that midfield before delivering the final ball.
Absolutely, and I think the introduction of Elias Mamo, he's normally a captain in that midfield. He isn't fast, but he's very, very good technically and very good in slowing down the game.
To look at the options, they need to probably slow it down again and also not get caught up in the rhythm of the other team. This is going to be a foul on Salah Said. Apparently used to be one of the speediest men up at the front for the Ethiopian Premier League, and St. George were very quick to snap him up as well. You can't say that they are slowed down, you can only say that speeds have increased and there are players who are faster now, like Abubakar Nasser. That's the only way to look at it.
That's why alongside Sadrin Bergic, they are called ex-internationals.
You might put in the X in it, but I tell you, they used to be fast.
Yeah,
Abubakar Nasser is just faster. That's the only thing that changed there. This is going off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be given to the St. George side. Sakuba Kamara has conceded 2 goals in today's game in the 3rd and the 13th minute of the game. Saladin. Belaya Baine gets into it, just pushes it slightly into the midfield. Terfu came from the under-20 academy of the St. George side and fitted into the senior team, and was knocked off by injury for a couple of games. Now he's just getting another start. This is on the left side for Adama. Nice delivery towards the box, cut off by Emmanuel Terfu, but not completely out. Again, some stylish play for Adama. They should be looking for just a chance to go to the goal. This is Elise. Lumps it high up in the air. They're not going to get a good result from that one, but at least they've been able to permeate through the center in the build-up from their own half, right into the midfield and into the striking position. Gilbert.
Absolutely. That's a good ball by Guinene. And again, when you pick the ball at this particular point, you expect that Olise is taking a shot from that distance. But, you know, he ducks, and then that is not a shot.
No, it's not.
I'm not sure whether there's a clearance or...
No, I think he tried to chip it into the box. And you're giving him a good name, Olise. He's not Olise, he's Elise.
Elise.
Yeah, otherwise, you might think you're talking about the great Sunday Olise from Nigeria. It's Elise, Obisa, Jonathan. He's a little bit slower because he's a little bit taller and lankier.
Yeah.
I think even taking a turn becomes a little bit of a difficult thing. But sometimes taking a shot on the first instinct works best for situations like those ones. This is going to be a throw-in. Henok Adunia will take it for the St. George side. Playing it to Saladin. He's been given the captain's armband. And then Belaya Baine involves himself in the attempted clearance. Might have just brought in a ball that could have been used for a shot. Why do you think Natal looks a little bit worried, Gilbert? Does he think he can blow up the 2-goal lead?
Well, I think Adama have come into this game a more solid team, and they have pushed a number of people forward, and that should be giving St. George some sleepless nights.
Oh.
Although we are still in the
day,
early hours of the evening.
You're suggesting they should take a nap a little bit in the afternoon. And there's nothing as bad as having a sleepless nap, where you're almost about to sleep and then something is waking you up all the time. You end up being very tired. It's going to be a handball here. This will be given to the Adama side for a free kick. It would be disastrous if they went to a nap now. They are chasing this game and they're 2 goals down. Quick one down on the right side. Oh, you heard the coach saying it very clearly. Karim, that's your area. Cut off that ball. Baru Negesh has done the job. Oh, and he's going to start the build-up from his side. Saladin with an easy take to Haida Sharifa, and then Abdul Karim. He leaves it to Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail. Of all the men in the field for the St. George side, if there's someone who has got an explosive kind of play and speed as well, is Gabriel. is Emmanuel Gabriel Michael. Gets onto the ball on the left side. Tries to tease the defense a bit. The 1-2 working very well. But the last touch again, not very well done by the youngster, Gilbert.
Absolutely. I mean, he got a ball in the prime position. I like what
look,
St. George
the coach
is doing.
is actually wondering, what did you do there?
Yes, he knows that he should have been finishing that ball.
So you can imagine if Emmanuel had to answer him, have to come and tell him, you know, coach, I was in there, but something happened to me and I slowed down the delivery, and then I kicked it so hard.
He won't even listen to him.
Then he shouldn't ask questions like, what happened there? He should just stay on the bench and let it go. Coach is very animated as well, usually on the bench. Elise in the midfield for Adama, but now at least they're getting the men into the midfield. And then they need to build it now accurately as well. Terfu cuts it off. Mikalu Genene was intending to get it onto the left side. It's going to be a throw-in for the St. George side. To Emmanuel Terfu. Terfu almost made it difficult for himself there, but he manages to get the touch off the big man Mamo Elias, and gets a goal kick which will help them move the ball slightly further on. They rested Saif Zakir to bring in Mr. Mamo. Is that the effect of having the midfield ticking a bit, but he's staying too far behind the strikers as well. Gabriel Michael out on the left side, rolling 360 degrees and then turning and giving the ball up at the front. It's been touched by Salahideen, who doesn't put it in the net. He takes the poster. A good delivery up at the front this time round from Gabriel Michael. St. George almost changing the scoreline again.
Absolutely. It's interesting that Million is just watching. You know, there's no cutoff, and that's a good run by Saladin Said. Good technical application, just hitting the post. No one going in for the rebound.
Yeah, some mistake there by Million Selemon, who was just watching and imagining that the goalkeeper will get into that. Again, there's got to be communication between the goalkeeper and the defenders to say it's my ball, or for the defender to say, look, I have it with me. This is a good one to Belaya Baine. Again, it's on his weaker left side, but he turns it down on the right side. Oh, it's going to be a foul, no doubt about it. Jamal concentrating on trying to get a physical contact in the box, just so that if it was said that he was fouled, it would probably be going for a penalty. And look at how he does it. He just simply forgets where the ball is and goes out onto Haida Sharefa. Just pushing onto Abdul Karim and just pushing onto his face and slapping him on the face.
Poor tactical awareness. It's a good ball. It's a good ball. I mean, he needs to take control of that ball, but he tries to stretch his arm and the ball is out of his reach.
Oh, yeah. Commits a foul here then. So for Abdul Karim, he's going to wait to see, to have something at least to pour on his face, maybe some water, just to make sure that there's no debris that has gone into his eye, because that open palm of Abdissa Jamal just went straight into the eyes. It's going to be a free kick though for the St. George side. They're leading this game by 2-0. That would be very good news for the St. George side, especially if it was ending that way, because it means that they would move to 37. And you'd have to look at the goal difference. Now they've scored 2, they'll have a plus 34. And so that means their GD goal difference would be 10. Then you have to look at whether or not they would exchange places with Ethiopia Buna, but they wouldn't, although they would get into the 3rd place. Those are the mathematics of trying to get into the 2nd place. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are going to be the most contested ones. And then right down to the 9th, 10th, and 11th are going to be very contested positions. 8th as well. So some hard games that we will be watching in the last few matches that will be played in the Ethiopian Premier League. This is a foul. What a tussle for the ball there. And then ultimately handling it, coming off Biruk Mengesha. Was penalized for it. A free kick was given to St. George. This comes to the center. Saladin opts not to strike, but he was looking at the option for sure. Abel Yellow is out on the right side. Pushes a long one down onto the left, which is not controlled by Abdul Karim. Sometimes, again, you wish that they weren't too casual in front of goal, even though they're leading by 2 goals. The more you can score, the better. The further you run away from anybody else trying to catch up with you in the game.
And I think the more goals they score, the better for them, because they're still, if the game ends this way, of course they'll be tying with the Ethiopia Buna in
On
second
points.
position on points. So the goal difference is going to make a big impact in this kind of situation.
That is what will change it, because Ethiopia Buna are on a 14 plus 14 goal difference, and for St. George they'll get into plus 10. They would need to score 6 goals to just catch up with Ethiopia Buna, so things are going to get a little bit difficult in the coming days. Elise is going to take a little break from the game now, and his place will be taken by Desalegn Debash. He didn't look very solid in the game, Elise. Looked a little bit tired, looked a little bit frail as well, wasn't very confident in his touch on the balls. Maybe Desalegn Debash will bring in something different for the Adama side. But what do you make of that? A midfielder for another midfielder. They need that midfield to be able to move forward.
Yeah, I think Elise Bisa looked very casual in the game, and I think by bringing in Desalegn Debash, brings some power and punch in the midfield.
Yeah, Leo's trying to bring the power as well for the St. George side. A little nice turn. The goalkeeper has been waylaid, and this has been cleared off the line. That would have been the best goal so far, with Saladin Said getting a return ball there from Abdul Karim, who dummied everybody else. He's out on the left side, Abdul Karim. Doesn't look like he's going to get the ball to the right position. Saladin is onside, but it's cut off in the very last moment for a corner.
It's a nice little touch, little dummy away from the central defender, Deste Geshamu. But again, it's good recovery from Lamin Kumare. Very good recovery.
It clears it off the line. It's going to be a corner for St. George, coming from the left side of attack. A little touch there sometimes can be the ones that make things more dangerous. Jamil Jacob almost. A little touch there sometimes can be the ones that make things more dangerous. Jamil Jacob almost looked like he was giving a pass to the St. George forwards to get onto it. There's a man on the left side. Gabriel Mikael takes a full shot that is blocked. Now trying to go into the right side. This is to Aboyelao for St. George. Just getting back onto his feet and rolling through 2 or 3 pairs of feet. St. George. Just getting back onto his feet and rolling through 2 or 3 pairs of feet. Still challenging Belaya Baine for it as well. He ultimately loses it. Lamin Kumare tries to set it forward. Aida Sherefa tries to get it to Adunya. It's going to be very physical play now entering the game, Gilbert. Everybody trying to exert some physique on it.
It's tough encounter. It's tough encounter. We said from the onset that Adama are trying to play for pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and therefore they want to keep everything in this game.
Yeah, they should. It's one of the places you have to stop in if you're coming from Awasa to Addis. A nice stop in Adama. 37 points is what they would have if it ended this way, but the goal difference would be still in favor of Ethiopia Cough. You've got plus 14 and St. George have a plus 10, so they would need 4 more goals in this game to be able to leapfrog the St. George side, actually 5 of them. For the Adama side, well, they can only reduce the deficit they have, a minus 24. Still a very huge deficit with only 1 match remaining for them to end the season. This is going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the Adama side.
Well, they are one of the 3 teams that are playing for positions that are uncontested.
What's that?
The Adama side.
What position is uncontested?
12th and 13th and the first position. These are three positions that are not being contested by anyone.
They're only trying to look for who else can join them down there. While up as well, they're looking for who can join Fasil to play continental football. It's going into the midfield. Adama getting onto it. Lamin Kumare playing it to the left side. This is Desalegn. He's come in with a nice touch for the team. This is going to be the referee simply ignores this altogether, thinks there's nothing. Adunya will have to send it off the field of play in a sportsmanship gesture that they usually do use for the referee to have a look at what has happened up at the front here. And Abdissa Jamal seemed to have been in full flight, but after that then he winces in pain and claims that he has been fouled and has stayed on the ground. I don't know if he caught a boot onto the chest as well, or whether it's just a twist as he was trying to pick up the position that is making him feel the way he is. But again, Gilbert, since the introduction of good midfield from the Adama side, now Abdissa Jamal is not so much on the ball like before when they were lumping it straight to him.
Yeah, they're trying now to, knead the balls in small triangles. And the key man in that midfield for them is Elias Mama, the captain. But so far, they've really not found any meaningful attack. And that's the initial goal by Saladin Said. Those were two touches. One pass from Saladin Bergicho to Saladin Said, and of course the second goal that was scored by Terfu in an open play where he was not marked at all for his second goal.
One goal attempt and one goal for the youngster Emmanuel Terfu, and now he has had the job of playing back in his defense as Adama try to come forward. This is going to come back to the midfield for Mamo. Chips it slightly. Then out on the right side. Again, Adama trying as much as they can to play at the center. And now they're controlling most of the passing as well. Comes on to the goal area, but Baru Negash doesn't worry too much about it. It's on over the bar and out of the field of play. It's going to be a goal kick, which is going to be for the St. George side. Playing very relaxed though. St. George doesn't look perturbed every time the ball is coming to their side. They don't seem to mind it, especially when they think that the attack is going to be very, very bleak. That's not a good tact if you are the team that is trying to strike. If you're not invoking any fear in the defenders, then really they've taken you for granted. St. George will have to send the ball off at Adunya again. I think the referee has stopped play because one of the other players again got injured in an attempt to try and get possession in an earlier move here. Abelieleo controlled the ball, was getting away here, but he catches a boot that grazes him on the shin. And I think when he's taking that turn is when he feels the pain. Well, the pain looks to come on the left side, while the grazing of the shin should have been on the right foot. So maybe something else away from that tackle is the one that makes him feel the pain. But his team had possession, so they'll send the ball. They send the ball off the field. It will be given back to the. No, the referee actually stopped play, so he just bounced it for the St. George side. The coach is urging them on. I think he's making a substitution. What would you change if you were the coach, if you were asked to change something in this one?
Well, I think I would add another striker, especially on the St. George side, because they are not done with this. They are looking for that goal difference. It's going to be important for them to bring in solid players who are moving into a forward direction.
Well, they look like they're bringing in Abraham Getachew, who's a midfielder. And they have substituted Aboyela, who felt that pinch and went onto the other side of the field, and so will not be taking part in this one again. This has been sent off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for Adama one more time. Yaleo has ended his game for today in the 69th minute. Not in very good fashion, but because of an injury that makes it impossible for him to continue. He's not going to be able to score more than the 3 goals that he has done so far. It's now to see whether Abraham Getachew can be able to do something better in the game.
Well, he only played 48 minutes, and if you add on the 21 that are remaining, he'll have played 69 minutes.
In 3 matches. So you can divide it into 3, and you'll know he's played like 24 matches in each game. But there are players who are super subs. They're brought in the 70th, in the 80th of minutes to try and change things. And some do actually score as super subs. The character of players really does change. Here is a chance for a shot towards goal. Not a power shot by Bekalu Genene. Headed out by Abdul Karim. It's going to be a throw-in for Adama. They're trying to intensify their attacks up at the front, the Adama side. Good ball down on the right side. The flag stays down. The cross is a slow one and a low one as well, easily cut off by Frimpong Mensah. Could have been lifted slightly higher for a better performance. But in the nick of time, sometimes players make very quick decisions. If this man was not in defense for St. George, a lot of things would have gone wrong.
Oh, he's solid. He's very, very solid. He's very good in the air. He's very good on the ground. And Abel Yaleo, as you have said, he's getting to quick showers.
Oh, his season has ended. But, you know, it's not the grazing on the shin there that hurt him. He made a turn, and then suddenly his left foot is the one that has a problem. And that worries you, because it's not the right foot, it's the left. That means he couldn't come back into the game. So he's out. He's got a chance for a water break as well, as we also have a chance for a water break for both sides. Gilbert, what do you think they should do now? They're going to be playing the last few minutes of this game.
I think for Adama, should they want to at least tie this game, they need to take control of the midfield. And rightfully so, Elias Mamo coming in and you know, doing what is supposed to be done. You can see that they're controlling the midfield with almost 53% of more of their passes through the middle. On the right-hand side and the left-hand side is equal, the kind of equal with the Belai Abena trying to help out on the attack, but without success. For St. George, it's all a question of you know, twitching that forward play, because they've had a lot of inroads, especially with forward passes, and it has worked for them. So if it's working for you, why would you want to change it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think they are going to change it, so I presume it was a rhetoric question there then. Yeah, they're going to have to discuss that in the water break and then decide to go for it. There's only about 18 minutes of play remaining in this game, and that's not too many minutes if you are Adama, because you would have wanted to probably get another chance to try and get the 2 goals, but then time is of the essence here. And the other team is not just stopping to watch you do what you want. They are also on the run to try and get the point. So Adama need to take advantage of the time they are on the field. And now that they're building into the midfield, they need to work with speed as well from there. So at the water break, I think for the St. George side as well, the intensity of the game has got to work for them. Otherwise, just missing it up at the front is also not going to be of great use to them. The St. George side will have a date with Wolkite in their very final match of the 2020-2021 season, while the Adama side will have a date with Ethiopia Buna. So if for anything, they should actually use this game in tune or in practice for the Ethiopia Buna game, because there will be, they're taking on St. George today, and they're taking on their St. George's rivals in the last game. You know what happens with our rivals. If St. George win by 2-0, then the Ethiopia Buna side will try to win by 3-0. You know, usually just try to get the better of each other and trying to get the better statistics all the time. Adunya can't get to this one. It's off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for Adama. Quick change by Lamin Kumare to play it to his defender, Milion Selemot. Back to Lamin Kumare. And Belaya Baina doesn't get onto it, but a handball will be called on Elias, on St. George's Abraham Getachew. The Ryan Molu issuing some last-minute instructions. He knows that he wants his men to go up at the front, but he doesn't want them to leave anybody behind. So for St. George to concede this one and a free kick to the side, becomes an advantage to the Adama side. 28 fouls in total in this one. It's coming from the left side of attack. All the men are lined up there. Actually, Adama leaving only 2 men behind. St. George as well, leaving only 2 men in front to try and go for an early attempt every time. This doesn't work well. It's a header, but off target, Gilbert.
Yeah, they are leaving dangerously. I mean, that's a good header from one of the center defenders on the Adama Kenema side.
Yeah, it goes off target. Tarfu will push it forward. It makes up for the 15th goal attempt in this game so far, and only 5 of them have been on target, so 10 of them have been off target. I'm seeing Adama playing much better in this second half and building from their half, but then not working with speed up on the front, but they force the St. George side into a little bit of a defensive mode, cutting out for a throw-in. As the coach issues the instructions, I don't know if they have agreed as teams, Gilbert, because they're both bringing number 19s into the game. The number 19 on the Adama side is Firaul Chala. They're going to preferring him up at the front in his very first game for the Adama side. And then the 19 on this side is Dagmawi Araya. For some reason, I was pretty sure they were going to give him a chance being on the bench. Dagmawi Araya has played only 1 game, played only 19 minutes in the midfield. He looked most likely to come in. He comes in for Salahuddin Said. What do you make of that, Gilbert?
I think it's good to that the coach is trying to utilize his depth on the bench by giving players who have not been able to play for some time.
But he's benched one of his best strikers who's already scored a goal now, the St. George side.
Well, he's already done his work.
Okay.
Therefore, just a few minutes for Dagmawi Araya to prove whether he merits to be on the St. George side.
For Belaya Baine, no goal from this game. He goes off the field, makes way for Firaul Chala. We'll see whether Firaul can show some good skills in the game. They've lost possession. The communication as well is lost between Gabriel Mikael and the new man Dagmawi Araya, who hadn't gotten into position. Well, Gabriel Mikael wanted to baptize him very quickly, didn't he? Just quickly put a ball for him, a through one on the right side. But he had not even organized himself. I think he was still tucking in his, still doing a little bit of grooming before he gets into his groove up at the front. Bekalu Genene sends it forward to Abdissa Jamal. Abdissa is concentrating so much on physical play, literally pushing everybody off the way. It's called working very hard, but he should work a little smart.
He needs to work smart. He needs to work smarter. We've really not seen him on the ball many times. He's normally a very good runner with the ball, but the feed has been very poor to him.
Haida Sharefa looking at Gabriel Mikael, who's veering out on the right side. Now has to look for support to come from behind. And when he realizes there's no support, then now he decides to take on the defenders. Lamin Kubari. I don't know if I'm the only one who saw it, but it simply hits onto the back of Gabriel Mikael. I don't know why that happened that way.
He's giving him problems.
Yeah, but hitting him on the back is not the kind of problem you want to give him. I don't know. I could have just seen it on my own there. I thought he would have been getting a foul there. You live dangerously when you do such things. For a team that has not yet gotten onto the score chart and chasing the game by 2 goals, you don't do anything that makes your situation worse. A nice old man once told me, if you know that your enemies are looking for you with a matchbox, why would you douse yourself in paraffin? I told him I don't have such enemies, but he told me anyway, it's a wise saying. So if you know you're already losing this game, why again put yourself into a little trouble by committing fouls that will jeopardize your position? And I'm not saying by any means that they are losing this game. There's still 11 and a half minutes to go in this one. Dunya will take it up from the right side. Good little touch by Gabriel Mikael that brings it back to position for the St. George side. And Adunya pumps it through for Abdul Karim, who probably has been given a roving role now. This is Gabriel Michael. Little touch this time round, accurately so, but doesn't beat Sakuba Kamara. You could see that he touched it with the slightest of tender, loving care touch, Gilbert. He didn't want to get a hard shot in because he didn't know if that's going to be accurate. But from that little mistake and the constant feed by Adunya, he was in a good position this
That's
time
a good position. And you want to hit this ball with some little power and over the ball. Good control by Haida Sherefa. And I think that's a poor shot from Emmanuel. He should have buried that one.
He gave it some TLC, some tender loving care. I mean, it's not a punch, it's not a shot designed to trouble Sakuba Kamara at all. It's one that is designed to say, hey, here it is. And plus, on top of that, he gets a knock from Milian Salomon, who was coming into defense there. And that exerts a little pain on Gabriel Michael. 10 minutes of play remaining in regular time. Still going to be a lot of fight in the next round of matches that are going to be played on Sunday. That's tomorrow. Sidama Buna will be taking on Jima Bajifar. Now, that is a cut fight for struggle for a team that is already going into relegation and a team that is potentially being pulled into relegation if they don't pull up their socks. Sidama and Jima Bajifar. And then Hadia Osaina and Ethiopia Buna. Now, it's going to be another cut fight of a team that wants to remain in the second position and play in the Confederations Cup, Ethiopia Buna, and a team that also wants to pull itself from where it is at the moment. The Hadia Osaina side in fourth position. They will be trying also to get into the second position. Realistically, Hadia Osaina can get to 38 if they wanted to, but that means that Buddha has got to lose, and you know it's not in the correct mathematics to talk about a win or loss. You have to talk about a win or a loss or loss. Otherwise, the rest becomes wishful thinking until the 90 minutes of that game. So Hadia Osaina and Ethiopia Buddha tomorrow, and Sidama Jima and Jima Bajifar tomorrow, Sunday. We'll also give an indication of where the positioning is going to be on the log. It's going to be a goal kick, this one, for St. George. Telfo looks like the happier of the defenders at the moment. Baru Negash, who would have to be very careful. He has a habit of picking up the cards in the very last minutes of the game just for time wasting. He picked up one in the 50th minute. That was against the Baradar side for time wasting. And again, this time round, he was just letting the ball stay where it is and not calling on anyone to come and take it, just for time to roll. Abdissa Jamal has kept it in play for Adama. It's a good thing to try and get it into the center, but you must look at where you're taking the ball, and Bekalugen, and it doesn't look at who is giving the ball to.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it's been the main undoing. They are not consistent in their passing. At times they get it right, and at times, most of the time, they're getting it wrong.
You know, if a teacher ever gave you comments like that on your composition, Gilbert, you know you're doomed. Times you get it right and times you get it wrong. Everybody will focus on the times you get it wrong.
Absolutely.
Because the inference was in those times you're getting it wrong. Sherefa will have to get back onto his feet with the help of even the opponents wanting him back. But this was going to be a very deliberate attempt at a clearance by the very experienced Mamo in the midfield for the Adama Kenema side. Another foul that will go to St. George. Taken by Frimpong Mensu. Pushes it onto the right side for Enoch Adunya. He's enjoying himself in the new type of play that St. George is adopting, using the wings, which is where he is strongest. Foul here with a little push from Adunya. It's given to the Adama side. Fancy playing on the right back position with a chance to continually roll on the right side, and that is helping them a lot. The new man Firaul Chala plays it back. This is Lamin Kumari. Frimpong Mens will pick this one up very easily. It's played back to the goalkeeper, Baru Negash. It's already gone off the field of play by the time that Abdul Karim Mohamed was trying to bring it back into play. Former national team coach on the left side and the current national team coach for the Ethiopian nation, Mebratu and Wubetu, exchanging little pleasantries there, probably exchanging notes on how it's being played in the field. The one thing we have seen about the national coach is he consults other coaches as well, and we know that he's trying to string up an under-23 side. He's probably looking at the juniors who are playing in the team here, and he knows very well that towards the last of the matches is when the coaches are preferring to give the juniors a chance to show their prowess on the field. The touch, you had it. And it's taken away by Firaul Chala, who will lose his position, but will get a free kick. No doubt about it, from the look of it all, he's one of the juniors as well who's been given a chance in the game on the Adama side. So there's going to be a retake of it because there was an extra football on the field thrown in by the very hard-working ball boys as well. Milion Suleiman sends it to the left side. Firaul Chala. This is sent on to the left side. And big run by Firaul Chala comes to no fruition, Gilbert. Something has got to change in the way they're playing it.
It's too much. It's too much. There was too much power exerted on that pass.
You think they're pushing it too far?
Yeah.
What do you think Baru Negash is up about? Do you think he's really feeling a strain? You know, the problem is once you show people that you're doing things in a little bit of a different way and that you just want to take off the time, everybody starts believing in anything you're doing, you just want to take away the time from the game. But I think this time around it's probably the strain altogether. The players are signaling for a change. The goalkeeper, they've got Patrick Matasi, the Kenyan goalkeeper, on the bench. They've got Leon Birhanu as well. I don't know why he's feeling that strain. He picked up this one nicely. Does it twist anything there? No, it doesn't. That was a very easy pick from him. But St. George will decide who they're going to bring into the game at the moment, because it looks like Baru Negash might not be coming back. Everybody's signaling for a change in goalkeeping.
It's Matasi.
It's Patrick Matasi that didn't have his boots on. He's got to put them on now and has to warm up slightly as well. Otherwise, he might just be pushed into the game. The Kenyan goalkeeper has played 5 games so far for the St. George side. He was red carded in the very first game when he was waylaid by Abubakar Nasser, with a penalty having been given to Abubakar Nasser. But Baru Negash seems to have miraculously recovered to get back into the game now. You believe in miracles, Gilbert, don't you?
Absolutely. His prayers was answered. The prayers that he woke up, you know.
Oh, don't even go there, Gilbert. Just leave it at that. Baru Negash might not have put in any prayer, but he's won a couple of seconds out of this game. And play has resumed. So Matasi will not be coming into this game after all. Even though he was getting himself ready for it, it's not going to work in his favor. 2-0 the scoreline, 88th minute, Gilbert. It's very hard to redeem a game like this at a time like this.
It is, and the kind of feed that Adama is trying to push forward to the likes of Jamal, it becomes extremely difficult for them to do any meaningful attacks, especially with those aerial balls. They need to organize themselves in the midfield. They have quite a number of good players whom they brought in, Desalegn Debash, and of course Elias Mamo can hold on to that.
Spirited run here by Dagmar Yaraya. That has been cut off by the defense. And now it is the Adama side who's coming out with it. They try to go through the right side. It's been cut off on that side. They have to look for another option to use. the St. George side trying to use the right side. The cross is a large one, extra large, and just goes on to the other side and out of the field of play. It's not going to be of any help to the side. Playing the 90th minute of the game now. The scoreline is still in favor of the St. George side. There will probably be a minute or two of added time in this one. I don't think anything much will come out of that one. Barring a natural calamity, I think St. George will run away with this one. Gilbert, how would you sum it up, even though you are going to have to remain here and take the whole of the extra minutes? But how would you, technically, what would be your comment of the game so far?
Well, I think the tactical approach by St. George worked for them. They decided to play the balls in wider areas and bringing the crosses. One of the crosses, they managed to score, and then also from a set piece, they managed to score. And they've completely outdone Adama in as far as attack is concerned. So I think their tactical approach in the game has really worked out for them in this first half.
Here is a shot, and they still have some men out on the right side who will be trying to go for the shot as well. This will be a foul for Adama. It's at the edge of the box, and a chance for them to show exactly what they have in the set piece positions. 4 minutes of added time is a lot of time in a game of football. It could be for Adama to at least get one goal in, or it could also be for St. George to change their goal difference as well. But a free kick it will be, and it will be for Adama. It's going to come from the right side of the attack. Mamo seems to be setting himself up for it, as Frimpong Mensu is organizing his defenders to make sure that he doesn't trouble them at all. It's probably pretty obvious that Mamo will take it. His technical prowess being called upon in this one. Well, the entire team knows that he's the expert in this one. But does he have the character to be able to at least pull a goal for the side with this move? That's what we're waiting to see then. As the whistle goes. Very well floated, but very well cleared off as well by Barunegash. That will present a chance for a corner for the Adama side. They're pushing in every man they've got up at the front. And even deciding who's going to be taking it and looking for the best person for it. Just tells you that they are preparing well to try and get a goal out of this one. It's half a chance, it's a very high one. Falls onto the feet of Abdissa Jamal. He's got the last touch as well, tries to bring it back. Barunegash again pulls it out. I don't think they'll get a chance to do it again from that one, Gilbert. They have tried and they haven't succeeded.
Well, they've tried and they've not succeeded. And again, the ball fell into the feet of Abdissa Jamal in that particular instance. And another good run by Dimawi Araya. But again, the ball is called for a corner. St. George got a corner in a very prime position.
It's going to go for a corner, but it comes so quickly from this other side. Gilbert, I hate to say goodbye, but I have to leave you here then. Don't burn the house.
Okay.
But yeah, let me roll down onto the touchline.
Absolutely. It's a corner kick by St. George. It looks like a quick corner that is taken, and Manuel brings in a cross on the left-hand side, but properly cleared by Kumare. It looks like there's been a substitution. Yes, Bira Mulugeta has been brought in. Another youngster in the St. George side. He tried to playing a long pass all the way to try and find Terfu, who is in an open position. He doesn't find it, and it lands onto Gimawi Araya. Again, a quick cross, where again, goalkeeper Sakuba Kamara in a prime position to pick it up and start a quick build-up. Jamil Jacob trying to find Mamo in the midfield, and then they play to the outside. Ginene, again a good cut off by none other than Frimpong Mensah, who has been very, very solid for St. George in the central defense. Well, they started the short pass again back to Ginene. Well, they're really not in a hurry. Another cross again, and an overhead kick by Abdissa Jamal, but it really, really does not bother Barunegash in the St. George goal area. Well, we are playing the last few seconds of the 94th minute, and any time from now, the referee, tackling Lema, calls this game to a close in a game that St. George have clearly dominated in this particular game and picked very, very important points. That's a good shot there from Elias Mamo, but very good reflex action from Bahar Negash in goal for St. George. Well, and again, that's a very, very, very good save. Good reflex action, and it puts us in a very, very prime position where Bahar Nashu, who has had a 60% goal distribution with 3 crucial saves in the game, putting St. George in a prime position, in 3rd position on 37 points, and just to try and get a hold onto the 2nd spot. And the team that finishes the 2nd spot will definitely represent the country in the CAF Confederations Cup. Well, as it stands, St. George ran away with this one by beating Adama City by 2-0 in goals that were scored by Terfu in the 13th minute and Said Saladin.
ተመልካቾቻችን የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ የ25ኛ ሳምንት የመጀመሪያ ቀን ሁለተኛ ጨዋታ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ 2-0 አሸናፊነት ተጠናቋል። ሰላዲን ሰይድና ማኑኤል ተርፉ ጎሎችን ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ያስቆጠሩ ተጫዋቾች ሆኗል። በዚህ ውጤት ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ከኢትዮጵያ ቡና ጋር ያለውን የነጥብ ልዩነት አጥበው ለሁለተኝነት በሚያደርገው ፉክክር ወሳኝ 3 ነጥቦችን አግኝቷል። ነገ ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ከሀዲያ ሆሳና በሚያደርጉት ጨዋታ ላይ የሁለተኝነት ደረጃውን ለመወሰን ከሚደረጉ ወሳኝ ጨዋታዎች መካከል አንዱ ሆኖ የሚጠበቅ ይሆናል። በሁለተኝነት ፉክክሩ ላይ እንግዲህ የሚታዩት ቡድኖች ቁጥር በዛ እያለ ይገኛል። በዛሬው ጨዋታ ላይ 9 ሙከራዎችን ሁለቱም ቡድኖች አድርገዋል። 5 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል 3 በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል የተደረጉ ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ ሙከራዎች ናቸው። 33 በአጠቃላይ ጥፋቶች ተሰርተዋል። 53 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል 47 ከመቶ ደግሞ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል የታዩ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ሂደቶች ነበሩ። ዛሬ 56 ከመቶ የሚሆነው የኳስ ቁጥጥር በመሃል ክፍል አካባቢ ላይ የነበረ ነው። ሁለቱም ቡድኖች 22 ከመቶ በተቃራኒ የግብ ክልል አካባቢ ቆይታን ያደረጉበት ከመቶኛ የተሰላ የቁጥር ስሌት ነው። ከጨዋታው በኋላ ከአዳማ ከተማው አሰልጣኝ ዘራይ ሙሉ ጋር ሱፐር ስፖርት ቆይታ የሚያደርግ ይሆናል። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ 2-0 ተሸንፋችኋል። ከጨዋታው በፊት ለመጫወት ያሰብከውን ነገር ነግረህን ነበርና የፈለከውን ነገር አግኝታል። በሜዳ ላይ የተፈጠሩትን ነገሮች እንዴት ነው የምትገልጻቸው?
ኦኬ፣ ያው ስንጀምር በሰራናቸው ስህተቶች ያው ተሸንፈን ወጥተናል። በዛ መንገድ እንደሚመጡ ግን ሰርተን ነበር። በሚጣሉ ኳሶችና በረጃጅም ኳሶች እንደሚመጡ ሰርተንም ተነጋግረን ነው ነበር። ያው የበረኛችንና የዲፌንሶቹ የታይሚንግ ችግር ነው ሁለቱም ኳስ የተቆጠረብን። እንደዛም ሆኖ ግን ኳሱን ይዘን ተቆጣጥረን ለመጫወት ሞክረናል። በእንቅስቃሴ ደረጃ የተሻለን ብንሆንም እነሱ ያው ባገቡት መጀመሪያ ባስቆጠሯቸው ጎሎች ያው ጠብቀው ጨርሰው ወጥተዋል። ግን በእንቅስቃሴ ደረጃ መጥፎ አልነበርም። ዛሬ ከበቀደሙ የተሻለ ነው ብዬ ነው ማስበው።
ወጣቶችን በማሰለፍ ደረጃ የሚጠበቀውን ነገር ቡድኑ እያደረገ ነው ብለህ ታስባለህ?
አዎ፣ ያው ወጣቶቹ ሲባሉ ያው መጫወት ያለበት ለመጫወቱ የደረሰ ሰው እየተጠቀምን ነው። ወደ 2 ልጆች 3 ልጆች ለማየት ሞክረናል። ጥሩ እንቅስቃሴ የሚታይባቸዋል። ወደፊት ያው እድሉን ሲያገኙ የተሻለ ነገር መስራት ይችላሉ ብዬ ስላሰብኩ እነሱንም ለማየት ሞክሬያለሁ። ግን ገብተው ሜዳ ላይ የተሻለ ነገር ነው ያደረጉትና በእንቅስቃሴያቸውም ደስተኛ ነኝ።
አሰልጣኝ ዘራይ በ2 ቡድኖች የውድድር ዘመኑን አሰልጣኝ ሆነ አሳልፋልና በአንተ የውድድር ዘመኑ ኮከብ ማን ነው?
በዘንድሮ በእንቅስቃሴ ደረጃ ብትወስደው ጎል ብቻ ስላገባ ሳይሆን በእንቅስቃሴውም ቲሙ ሁሌ ውጤት ይዞ እንዲወጣ ከፍተኛ በራሱ ጥረት ሲያደርግ የነበረው አቡበከር ነው ብዬ ነው ማስበው።
ሁለተኛና ሶስተኛ ምርጫህን ማወቅ እንችላለን?
ይቻላል። ሁለተኛ ያው ያሬድ እናስቀምጨዋለሁ። ሶስተኛ ወደ ራስ ባላደላም አብዲሳ በራሱ ጥረት ያው ቲሙን እዚህ ደረጃ አድርሶታልና አብዲሳን በሶስተኛነት ታስቀምጣለህ።
ከልብ አመሰግናለሁ። ክቡራን ተመልካቾቻችን ቀደም ሲል በሊግ ካምፓኒው አማካኝነት ለክለብ አምበሎችና አሰልጣኞች የኮከቦች ምርጫ ቅጽ ተሰጥቷል። እዛ ቅጽ ላይ አሰልጣኝ ዘራይ ሙሉ ያሰፈረውን የኮከቦች ምርጫን ጨምሮ ነው የነገረን። ወጣት ተጫዋቾችን በመጠቀም ደረጃ እየተጠቀመ እንደሆነና መልካም ነገር እያሳዩ እንደሆነ ገልጾልናል። እንዲሁም ደግሞ በዛሬው ጨዋታ በኳስ ቁጥጥር ደረጃ የተሻለ ነገር ግን በሰራቸው ስህተቶች መሸነፉንም አስቀድሞ አሳውቋል። ሲዳማ ቡና ከጅማ አባጅፋር ነገ የሚደረግ ጨዋታ ነው። ረፋድ ላይ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና ከኢትዮጵያ ቡና ሌላኛው ጨዋታ ነው። ከአሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑተል ጋር ቆይታችን የሚቀጥል ይሆናል። ኮች, you scored 2 goals and a win. How was the game?
Well, we're absolutely delighted to get the win. It was a very good positive reaction after our previous game. So I'm very happy for everyone connected with the team.
It was a clean sheet. Do you think you have seen a betterment on the defensive side of the team?
Yeah, I asked them for a clean sheet. I'm always looking for a clean sheet, and I asked them for that. And I thought our level of determination, concentration, focus was very good today. And every player put in, gave 100% and more. And we really deserved the result. Yeah.
The last game will be against Walkite, and it will be one of the deciders to be on the second place. Are you watching about the second place? Are you thinking about the second place?
We're focusing on recovering in the next couple of days, and we're focusing on preparations for the next game. Anything can happen now in the next week or so. Anything can happen tomorrow. We've seen that results can go in different ways, so we're still in the race. We're still in there with a chance, so we'll focus on those things.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑተል ከጨዋታው በኋላ በሁለተኝነት የማጠናቀቁን ሂደት በተመለከተ እንዲሁም ደግሞ በጨዋታው ላይ ስለነበረው እንቅስቃሴ ተናግረዋል። ሁል ጊዜ ከጨዋታው በፊት ያለምንም ጎል ጨዋታውን መጨረስ በዋናነት ለተጫዋቾች የሚነግራቸው ነገር ነው ብለዋል። ይህንን ለማሳካት እንግዲህ 3 ጨዋታዎችን ጠብቀዋል። ባለፉት 2 ጨዋታዎቻቸው ግብ ተቆጥሮባቸው ነበር ጨዋታዎቹን የጨረሱት። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ እንግዲህ በደረጃ ሰንጠረዡ መሻሻል በነጥብ መሻሻልን አግኝቷል። የውድድር ዘመኑን በሁለተኝነት ለመጨረስ ኢትዮጵያ ቡና፣ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ፣ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናና ሰበታ ከተማ በፉክክሩ ላይ ይገኛሉ። ይሄ ፉክክር እንግዲህ ነገ ኢትዮጵያ ቡናና ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና በሚያደርጉት ጨዋታ በጣም ወሳኝ የሆነ ጨዋታ ይሆናል። ማን ለሁለተኝነት የተሻለ እድል አለው የሚለውም የሚወሰነው በነገው ጨዋታ ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ኢትዮጵያ ቡና የሚያሸንፍ ከሆነ ከሰዓቱን ጨዋታ ለሁለተኝነት የሚደረገው ፉክክር ማን ጋር እንደሚሄድ ከፍተኛ በፐርሰንት ደረጃ ሲቀመጥ 90% የሚታወቅ ይሆናል። ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና የሚያሸንፍ ከሆነ አሊያም ደግሞ ባቻ ውጤት የሚጠናቀቅ ከሆነ ደግሞ የተለየ መንገድ ይኖረዋል ማለት ነው። አሁን ከጨዋታው በኋላ ከባልደረቦቼ መኮንን ኃይሉና በርናንድ ኦቴኖ ጋር ነው ቆይታ የምናደርገው። የመጀመሪያውን 45 ደቂቃ ተመልክተን ነበር ረፍት ላይ። በሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃ ያለውን የጨዋታ የማጥቃት ሂደት እየተመለከተ ነው። መኮንን ምን ማለት ይቻላል? ሁለተኛው 45 የተለየ ነበር።
አዳማ ከተማ ይበልጥ ማጥቃት ላይ ሲሳተፍ ነበረ። በቁጥር በርካታ የአማካይ ክፍል ተጫዋቾችን አሰልጣኝ ዘርአይ ሙሉ ተጠቅሟል። ነገር ግን አሁንም የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በጣም መከላከል ላይ ያመዘነ የተጫዋቾች ምርጫና የጨዋታ መንገድ አዳማ ከተማን ግብ ከማስቆጠር ጥራት ያላቸው የግብ ዕድሎችን ከመፍጠር አስቀርቶታል ብዬ አስባለሁ። በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል ጥራት ያላቸው የግብ አጋጣሚዎችን መፍጠር አለመቻላቸውና ለአብዲሳ ጀማል የመጨረሻ ወደ ግብ የቀረቡ ኳሶችን አመቻችተው መቀበል አለመቻላቸው በጨዋታው ተሸናፊ እንዲሆኑ አድርጓቸዋል ብዬ አስባለሁ። ከዛ ውጭ ግን የመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ ላይ በመጀመሪያው 25 ደቂቃ 2 ጎሎችን ያስቆጠረው ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጨዋታውን ማኔጅ አድርጎ ተቆጣጥሮት ወጥቷል ብሎ መናገር የሚቻል ይመስለኛል።
Bernard, was the second half a bit different from the first?
Yeah, the Adama side actually changed their style of play and brought in more midfielders, if you noticed. And as a result of that, they forced the St. George side into defence. And that's why St. George didn't score any other goal. And Adama looked most likely to score most of the times. They made some very quality substitutions, bringing in Mamo as well in the midfield, because that is where they were lacking. But I wish they had started like that, because they wait for 45 minutes to see the mistakes they are making, and then they come and rectify it in the second half. The St. George side simply stayed in defence, and that is all. For the St. George as well, they didn't change the way they were playing at all. They played the same way again in the second half. But with the changes made by Adama, obviously it was going to slow down St. George from going up at the front.
Bernard, we are talking about Frank Nuttall's stay in Kenya
Yes.
before the game.
Yes.
Any kind of betterment on the style of play?
You know, I told you that what I know of what I saw him doing with a team in Kenya, Gor Mahia, is that he made them be running on the flanks both right and left and bring in the crosses. But he had quality finishers from the crosses. You see what Emmanuel Terfu did? Those are quality crosses as well. And so it worked very well for him. And he's got to do the same thing here, get quality finishers for the crosses that are coming. You said before that this is not the style of St. George. I mean, it's changed the way they're playing. You know, they're pushing.
They
with
play
speed.
always direct football.
They play direct, but now you see it's on the flanks. And it's intense. Now with the finishers coming in, it's a totally different game that probably the Ethiopian Premier League has not been seeing. And maybe that is what will change the fortunes for St. George.
መኮንን በዚህ ሀሳብ ተስማማል?
እኔ ከቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ኳሊቲ ካላቸው ተጫዋቾች አንጻር እንደዚሁም ደግሞ የቡድኑን ታሪክ እናውቃለን እና ከዛ አንጻር ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ እንደዚሁም በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ አሰልጣኙ ይዘውት የቀረቡት በጣም ዲፌንሲቭ የሆነ የጨዋታ አቀራረብ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ስፔሻሊ ደጋፊዎችን የሚያስደስት አይመስለኝም። አዳማ ከተማ መውረዱን ያረጋገጠ ቡድን ነው። ኦፍ ኮርስ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሁለተኛ ደረጃ ለማግኘት ነው የሚጫወተው፣ ግን በዚህ ደረጃ በጣም ዲፌንሲቭ የሆነ መከላከል ላይ መሰረት ያደረገ እግር ኳስን መጫወቱ ብዙ የሚወደድላቸው አይመስለኝም የአሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ናታል። ከዚህ አንጻር በቀጣይ ጨዋታዎች መጠነኛ የሚባል የጨዋታ መንገዱ ዳይሬክት ፉትቦል ወይም ቀጥተኛ እግር ኳስ ቢሆንም የሚመርጣቸው ተጫዋቾች ግን ጊዮርጊስ መካከል ያለው ሰፊ ልዩነት ይታወቃል። የጥራት የቡድን ስኬት ብዙ ነገሮችን ካነሳን ማለት ነውና ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ልክ እንደ ጨዋታውን ውጤቱን ለማስጠበቅ በጣም ዲፌንሲቭ የሆነ ቡድን ነበር የተመለከትነው። በአዳማ ከተማ በኩል የጎል ዕድሎች ባይፈጠሩም ጥራት ባላቸው መንገድ አማካይ ክፍል ላይ ከፍተኛ ብልጫ መውሰድ ችለዋል።
ወደ ጨዋታዎቹ እናምራ። የመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ ላይ ሁለት ጎሎች ተቆጥረዋል። እነዚህ ሁለት ጎሎች ደግሞ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን ወደ አሸናፊነት የመሩት ጎሎች ናቸው። በጨዋታው ሁለተኛ ደቂቃ ላይ ሰላዲን ሰይድ ጎል አስቆጥሮ ነበረ። ሰላዲን ሰይድ በሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃም ያገኘው እድል ነበር። በእንቅስቃሴ እስኪ እንመልከተው። በመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ ጎል አስቆጥሯል ሰላዲን፣ በሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃም እድሎችን አግኝቶ ነበር።
የሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃ የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ልዩነት የሚሆነው እድሎችን መጠቀም አለመቻል የተመለከትንበት ነው። ሰላዲን ሰይድ ሁለተኛ ጎል በጨዋታው ማስቆጠር የሚችልበት ነበር። ከዚያ ባሻገር የአማኑኤል ገብረ ሚካኤልም እንደዚሁ እድል አግኝቶ ሳይጠቀምበት ቀርቷል። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጥንቃቄን በመረጠ የጨዋታ መንገድ በአንዳንድ የመልሶ ማጥቃትና ፈጣን ሽግግሮች አማካኝነት በአዳማ ላይ አደጋ ለመፍጠር ጥረት አድርጓል። ተጨማሪ ጎሎችን ማስቆጠር ባይችሉም
Bernan, we are watching Saladin attempts on the second half. It was not at the first half, it was a goal at the first half.
Yeah, but in the second half, at least he got the post in that one. He was striking hard, but again, that depends on the feed that is coming from the midfield. And you saw Gabriel Michael, fluffing some of those situations, not getting the correct ball up at the front. And I think that is what slowed down Saladin Said. Even by the time he was being rested, it's not because he had not given his all in the game. He had tried his best to put the ball in the net. He had made only one goal. There was no more that he could do in that game.
በዚህ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ከሰላዲን ሙከራ ባሻገር የተከላካዩን ኳስ ከመስመር የማውጣት እንቅስቃሴ አለማድነቅ ንፉግነት ነው መኮንን። በዚህ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ እንደምንመለከተው ሰላዲን ሰይድ ግብ ጠባቂውን ካለፈ በኋላ ኳሷን ከመረብ እንዳታልፍ ማድረግ የቻለው ተከላካይ
ላሚን ኩማሪ ጨዋታውን ስላነበበው ይመስለኛል። ልክ ግብ ጠባቂውን እንዳታለለው ሲያውቅ በቀጥታ ወደ ግብ ክልሉ ሄዶ ኳሱን ለማዳን ሄደው ነው።
I was saying we should give a credit to the defender.
I know Bohala means after, but I can tell you something. Did you see that little flip by to Saladin that came from the left side? The dummy. It's almost the ones used to see being done by Ronaldinho. And that was a very good attempt there. Even though it did end up being goal, it was good play coming from the St. George side. I know the Ethiopian Premier League is bereft with entertainment. I mean, there has to be entertainment play. But it's always best when entertainment comes after you have scored the goals. Then you can entertain the crowd. And I think that was good for them at that time.
እንግዲህ ይሄን እንቅስቃሴ እንመልከት። ከጨዋታ ውጪ ነበር ሰላዲን፣ በፍጹም ከጨዋታ ውጪ ነበር እንቅስቃሴ አይደለም። We are checking whether Saladin was offside or not.
No.
He was
says he was offside. Where?
ኦፍሳይድ አልነበረም። የላሚን ኩማሪ ኳስ ላይ ያለበት
The decision by the ref was absolutely right.
I mean, look, there's one thing that we have to get used to doing. You have to analyze the offside from where the ball is being taken. Unfortunately, we don't have the VAR, so we can't be as technical as a machine. But when, even by the naked eyes, you can see the ball is coming from the feet, you should be able to let play to continue.
Yeah, and we are the only ones who can see it by playback.
Yes. We see it 2 or 3 times. The referee sees it only once, even the assistant.
Yeah.
But even when you see it twice and it tells you it's not offside, you have to let it go, you know.
በሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃ የአዳማ ከተማን አማካይ ስፍራ በመምራት ጥሩ እንቅስቃሴ ሲያደርጉ ከነበሩ ተጫዋቾች መካከል ኤልያስ ማሞ በጨዋታው ድንቅ የቅጣት ምት ሙከራ አድርጎ ነበር። እሱን እየተመለከተ ነው የምንገኘው። የባህሩ ነጋሽ እንቅስቃሴ የኤልያስ ማሞ ቅጣት ምት ድንቅ ቅጣት ምት ነበር።
ኤልያስ ማሞ የቆሙ ኳሶች አጠቃቀም ላይ በጣም ጥሩ ከሆኑት የሀገራችን ተጫዋቾች መካከል አንደኛው ነው። ቅድም ያነሳ ነበር በርናርዶ ኦቴኖ እዚህ በነበረበት የ2015 የሴካፋ ውድድር ላይ በተመሳሳይ ጎል አስቆጥሮ እንደነበረ
ኮከብም ነበር የውድድሩ ኮከብ
እንደነበረ የሚታወቅ ነው። እዚህ ጋር ግን የባህሩ ነጋሽ አስደናቂ ኳስ የማዳን ክህሎትም የተመለከትንበት ነው። ባህሩን ከርቀት እሱን ማሸነፍ በጣም ከባድ እንደሆነም በድጋሚ ያየንበት እንቅስቃሴ ነው።
Yeah, we were watching the free kick taken by Elias Mamo.
Yes.
You remember 5 years back he was player of the tournament while Ethiopia stood third.
He's a good free kick taker. He's actually a very good midfielder, although he's a slower of the midfielders. But even when he came into the game, you know, suddenly there was a flow from the first third into the second and into the final third for the Adama side. The only thing is now when he turns provider, then he can't be the one who's finishing. So even when he took this free kick, it was very good. I mean, to trouble Baru Negash a bit there. Baru Negash also showed a little bit of his good skills from that free kick.
Yeah. Let's change our focus to the race to be second. Tomorrow we'll have a big game, Ethiopian Coffee versus Hadia Hosanna.
Yep.
It will be a very decisive one. When we see the log, Ethiopian Coffee has got 37 points. Now St. George has equalized the number of points with Ethiopian Coffee. Sabata is only one point away from St. George and Ethiopian Coffee. And of course, Hadia Hosanna, 2 points clear from them.
Yeah, but you see, St. George has an inferior goal difference. That's why the Ethiopian Coffee side remains at the top. It's a plus 14 and a plus 10. They would need to score 4 goals in the game they just finished for them to be able to dislodge Ethiopian Coffee. Now, for Hadia as well, they have a very good chance of getting to the top because they can get to a maximum of 41. Sabeta can get to a maximum of 42.
Sabeta, 39,
that means there's still a very big fight for the second position.
Yeah.
It's not over yet, even for Ethiopia Buna. And as the draw would have it, now Hadia is playing Ethiopia Coffee. One of them has got to drop from that race tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why it's a big match.
አራት ቡድኖች ለሁለተኛነት የሚያደርጉት ትንቅንቅ አለ። ይሄ የኢትዮጵያ ቡናን፣ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን፣ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናን፣ ሰበታ ከተማን የሚያካትት ነው። በጣም ወሳኝ ጨዋታ ነው።
ነገ የሚደረገው ጨዋታ ምናልባት ፍንጭ የሚሰጥ ሊሆን ይችላል። ሰይድ በተለይ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናና ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በእርግጥ እድሉ የኢትዮጵያ ቡና ነው። 37 ነጥብ አለው በጎል ክፍያ የተሻለ ቡድን ነው። ስለዚህ እጁ ላይ ያለውን እድል የአሰልጣኝ ካሳ ያረገ ቡድን አሳልፎ ላለመስጠት ነገ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናን ማሸነፍ አለበት። ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናም ጥሩ መነሳሳት ውስጥ የሚገኝ ቡድን ነው። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን በቅርብ አሸንፈዋል። ከዛም በፊት በተመሳሳይ ጥሩ ውጤት እያመጣ የሚገኝ ቡድን ነው። ከዚህ አንጻር ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናም ሌላ እድል ያለው ቡድን ነው ብዬ አስባለሁና ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ግን በጣም የተሻለ እድል ያለው ቡድን ነው።
For Walkite it's not all over. They will decide on tomorrow's match.
There's still another fight also tomorrow.
Yeah, Adama versus Jimma Bajifar will be a decisive match. Yeah.
Walkite is going to play St. George in their last match.
Yeah.
So again, they really have to try and win that one if they're going to remain.
Bernard, if tomorrow Sidama wins or got 1 point, it will be all over for Walkite.
Yes, it will. Yeah. But you know, Sidama, that's another story altogether. They're also playing tomorrow. So I'm telling you, tomorrow is the day when these things are going to be decided. Who's joining the others in relegation? Who's joining the number 2 position? The others will have to play now for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th position. That's why it's very interesting as we go towards the end, the business end of things in the Ethiopian Premier League, because the second position for the Conference Cup is still open, in my opinion. Very, very open. And you must remember as well that the prize money will be awarded according to the order of the position.
The ranks,
And you know, down there, Sidama and Walkite are in a battle. And again, they're playing tomorrow. So by tomorrow, we'll know exactly where the log stands, you know, in the best way possible.
We will talk about the top scorers. Abubakar Nasser አለ፣ ሙጂብ ቃሲም፣ ከዛ በኋላ ደግሞ ጌታነህ ከበደ፣ ስንታየው መንግስቱ፣ ፍጹም አለሙ 10 ጎሎችን 2 ዲጂት ጎሎችን ያስቆጠሩ ተጫዋቾች ናቸው። 5 ተጫዋቾች ስለነዚህን ማለት እንችላለን።
የከፍተኛ ግብ አስቆጣሪነቱ ጉዳይ ያው ያለቀ ይመስለኛል። ምክንያቱም አቡበከር ናስር በሰፊ ልዩነት ነው እየመራ የሚገኘው። ሙጂብ ቃሲም ዛሬ ጎል ማስቆጠር አልቻለም። ስለዚህ ልዩነቱ 7 ነው። ከዚህ በኋላ 2 ጨዋታዎች ያሉት ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ነው። ስለዚህ አቡበከር ናስር ተጨማሪ ጎሎችን አስቆጥሮ የኮከብ ጎል አስቆጣሪነት ሪካርዱን ጣሪያ ከፍ የሚያደርግ እድል ያለው ይመስለኛል። ቀሪ ጨዋታዎችን የሚያደርጉት የነገው ጨዋታ እንደኛው የሚፈተንበት ጨዋታ ሊሆን ይችላል። ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና በጣም ዲፌንሲቭ ቡድን በመሆኑ ምክንያት የመጨረሻው ጨዋታ ላይ ግን በተሻለ ነጻነት ነው የሚያደርገውና የአቡበከር ናስር ኮከብ ጎል አስቆጣሪ የመሆን ጉዳይ ያለቀ ይመስለኛል። ሪከርዱን የቱ ጋር ያስቀምጠዋል ጣሪያው የቱ ጋር ይሆናል የሚለው ግን ትኩረት የሚስብ ነው የሚሆነው።
Bernard, I want to hear about the terrific goal scorer Abubakar Nasser and the competition between Abubakar and also Mujib.
You know, Mujib has got to score 8 goals to be able to beat Abubakar to the top scorer. Now, look, you can do mathematics and say, yes, it's possible in 90 minutes if he scores 2, 4 in the first half and 4 in the second half. Obviously, it's not going to happen. So Abubakar Nasser is going to run away with this. I think of all the strikers in the Ethiopian Premier League, the fastest, most intelligent, most lethal striker is Abubakar Nasser. It's not Mujib. It's just because of the way he gets into the balls there, you know, very quickly behind the defenders. And he's able to take on anything and turn it into a goal. And I think it's very unfortunate that they're not getting on to the championship. But in terms of good play, it comes from Abubakar Nasser. I'm looking at the
last
champions
5
previously.
league winners,
And if you look at them, Michaela is not there, Jima is not there, St. George is not going to win it. It just tells you of the kind of competition there is in the Ethiopian Premier League. You can't win back-to-back unless 3 or 4 years ago. Now it's changing completely. Anybody can take it. And I think there's also mobility, a lot of movement within the Ethiopian Premier League, which is good in employment. They will tell you in HR that if there's movement of labor, you know, the salaries go up, the standards go up as well. So that is very good for the Ethiopian Premier League.
Thanks very much, Bernard and መኮንን ከልብ አመሰግናለሁ። ክቡራን ተመልካቾቻችን የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ነገ በ25ኛ ሳምንት ሁለተኛ ቀን ጨዋታ ሲዳማ ቡና ከጅማ አባጅፋር እንዲሁም ከሰዓት በኋላ ተጠባቂው የሀዲያ ሆሳዕናና ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ጨዋታ በቀጥታ በሱፐር ስፖርት ወደ እናንተ የሚደርስ ይሆናል። ነገ ረፋድ እሁድ 3:45 ላይ እንገናኛለን። መልካም ጊዜ እንዲሆንላችሁ እንመኛለን። እንዳትረሱ ግንቦት 14 2013 የመጀመሪያው የዲኤስቲቪ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ የዋንጫ ስነ ስርዓት የተካሄደበት ቀን እናሳልፍ ነው። መልካም ምሽት እንመኛለን።